Welcome back to another episode of the Foggy Thoughts podcast. Here we are again. As you can see, another guest on the show. My buddy, my work buddy, and a very close friend now.
My buddy too. I met him.
Nah, not this guy.
I met him a couple times.
Once or twice.
In passing.
Yeah.
In passing.
Well, this is actually the first time they ever met.
I mean, I gave him a nod like this when we walked by. When we walked right by, I said,
he did one of these like, "What's up?"
"What's up?" Yeah.
Ever since then, been best friends.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So yeah, my buddy here, Marsalis. Welcome on the show.
Thank you guys.
Welcome.
Glad to have you here.
Hey, me too.
So how about this? Let's just get right into this thing. 'Cause I don't want to waste any time here with you.
Whoa.
Waste your time. Waste our time.
I mean,
Let's get this icebreaker shot.
every
going,
time I
huh?
spend with you is a waste of time. It feels like.
As tradition, this is what we do on the show. We do a thing called an icebreaker shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So to help you a little more foggy on the show, we'll go ahead and take these shots. And in our honor, of your honor, just pour it for us, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, let's see what we got.
Not your honor, my honor.
who's honor?
All right, what do we got here?
We got.
Crown Royal.
But
Psych.
there it is.
It's actually the Hennessy.
The Henny.
You already know.
The Henny.
All right. If you have some Hennessy in your household, go and grab that shit right now because
Or,
it's
I mean,
about to
you
get
can
real.
drink anything really.
Nah.
Listerine, hand sanitizer,
Toothpaste,
tpaste. Yeah.
I heard that's
Gorilla.
good sanitizer, by the way.
Gorilla Glue.
yeah. I usually chase my shots with hand sanitizer, a couple squirts. You know, helps fight bacteria.
It's like that's pretty much creme de menthe.
That's like Listerine, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
People. I mean, I've heard
Really
stories
minty.
about people getting so desperate that they're like drinking rubbing alcohol and shit.
I mean, that's when you know you have a problem.
that-
you know, you
yeah.
gotta start. You gotta
If-
stop and look.
If
up and
anything
just
is
be
your
like,
sign, it's definitely that.
Yeah, if I'm over here licking my palm,
yeah. Give me some of that Purell.
especially right now, it's like, yo, it's Corona right now. Hey, I really need some hand sanitizer, man. There's a lot of Corona out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how you do
Dude,
it.
that's
oh,
too
there you
much,
go.
I think. That's too much.
Oh shoot! You want to
Yeah.
get Brews going with this too?
For a little chasey?
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't
just in
mind.
case. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Fat Tire myself. This is actually. Oh, by the way, let's fit this real quick.
What?
It is the weekend of Valentine's Day.
Oh.
That's true.
And
That's true.
for those of you who've been watching since the beginning, that was one of our first episodes here. So
was.
if you're here from the last time,
Yeah.
last minute of Valentine's
Yeah.
Day,
Well,
welcome
well,
back.
thanks.
Welcome back.
We
Welcome
didn't.
back.
We didn't get any better.
It's been a hell of a ride. Yeah, hell of a ride.
Same
1 year
shit.
down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, efficiently down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've
Yeah.
we've had some rocky times.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We've
We
been
all
through the
have.
cycle a couple
We
times.
used to record on our phones just for funsies.
First
right.
original podcast.
That's right.
The archives.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
I guess I
shit,
just won't
sir.
have one. This
Oh, I thought you
this-
got it. I thought you were
I
handing them out.
thought you got our ass. Yeah, I handed it
Oh,
out
you got
to
your
you.
ass. Oh, you got her ass.
Well, there we go.
And then what we do in this house as well,
Yeah.
go ahead and take your cap.
Yeah.
It's like that fountain, the Trevi fountain in Italy. You just go ahead and make a wish.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Wait, just chuck it.
Yeah,
it,
just
yeah.
right behind you.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Mike,
wish.
it's probably gonna come true.
It's probably going to come true.
Yeah.
I'm wishing the worst for you so hard right now.
Go ahead.
All right. There we go.
I'm gonna look right in your eyes with my wish.
Oh.
Joke's on you. The
Mine-
fountain's behind you.
Whoa.
Well.
I guess that's just definitely not coming true.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I got my own fountain. It's,
All right.
It's only the true wishes are over there.
Yeah.
Only the real ones.
Right. All
Soda
right.
fountain.
Yeah.
Drinking
Yeah.
fountain, water fountain.
So yeah, it is Valentine's Day, and I
sir.
really want to point out real quick, this is a very sentimental beer to me, and this guy actually got this for me today. So I appreciate the last. Hey, you guys knew last time I got him
Yeah.
a bottle, so
That's true.
it goes around. You know what I mean?
Goes
So
around.
yeah,
Hey.
Seguido to you boys.
Yeah.
Salud.
Uh,
You already know.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey.
Prost.
Ooh.
To be honest, I didn't need to chase
It's
that.
been a long time since I had Henny.
But it tastes interesting. Oh, yeah. Same here. That's why I was like, hey, gotta get something different.
That Henny and Amber was an interesting combo, huh?
That's what I was saying. I was like,
yeah.
I definitely didn't need to chase that, but
Yeah.
hey, that wasn't that bad.
Almost like I almost feel like they belong together a little bit.
Yeah, low key.
The same, like the same family tree, maybe.
Maybe.
Why,
You know what I
'cause they're
mean?
dark?
Cognac and ambers, I guess.
Yeah, like the taste is just like it just tasted like I feel like it's been in my mouth before.
Well, I mean, I
like
wouldn't
it,
doubt
or
it.
if it wasn't, it should have been.
Yeah, like
you
it
know
was,
what I mean?
like it's a girl I used to know.
Yeah, like as someone I
I'm like-
wish I didn't know, but I did know.
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, nah, maybe.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you two bartenders.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What is Hennessy exactly? It's not a rum.
It's a cognac.
Yeah.
It's a cognac, but cognac is
It's
named
it's
after
like
the,
a brandy.
the city of France, a cognac France. So I guess brandy
It's
would
a
be more of
brandy.
its category. Okay, that makes sense.
Which is not a lot of those.
What, cognacs?
Yeah.
My-
I mean, not
my-
the.
My Opa used to drink Cavassier.
Yeah.
That's a cognac. That's. I
The
mean,
last time I had Cavassier was in Monterey with this guy.
I brought it.
And there's a story behind that whole thing. But I don't know. We might have already told that story on here before, but
Yeah.
Maybe.
but yeah, Cavassier. That's the last time I had that. So
okay.
that's a nice little good look. Oh yeah, you're the one who brought this one. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Thanks
appreciate
for mixing it up. Of
Yeah,
course,
for
yeah.
real.
We
Hey,
appreciate that.
I was assigned to get booze for the pod, so
There we go.
And he did a
And
good job.
He fulfilled
And
it.
he did a
He
good job.
fulfilled it.
It's a good chance to check it out. If you haven't already, check out the Foggy Thoughts podcast on Instagram, and you will see how much booze this guy's got.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of booze. So go ahead and check that out. Follow the page while you're at it, and you see a lot of these clips of us being idiots. So
Yeah.
fully fogged.
To say
fully
the
fogged.
least.
Yeah, fully fogged to say the least. There it is.
Sometimes, every once in a while, we'll have a smart thought, but then we just
It's
blow
like
right
it's,
over
it's
it.
like playing Russian roulette, but like that one bullet's like a smart thought.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a
And
lot
then-
of them are shit.
And
but,
I
yeah.
guarantee you, there's some people that are like sitting on the edge of their seat as soon as we hit like a smart thought. They're like, "Oh shit, they're about to get into some real shit." And I'm like,
Yeah.
so anyway, about farting your pants.
Yeah,
and shit, right?
right.
It's like, and then it just goes.
So
right
it's
past.
4 a.m., right?
So it's 4 a.m.
yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. We've been known to make our rounds. So,
Yeah.
but, yeah. Yeah. So back to how we know you.
Frankie, come on.
I actually met this guy. I don't know if I told you this story, but the reason how I know this guy is we actually worked in the same company, and this guy would walk past my desk all the time. And the reason why he caught my eye is that he'd wear this Real Madrid jacket. I would catch my eye all the time. For those you don't know, I watch a lot of soccer, football, and this guy was crossing my desk, and I'm like, you know what? One of these days, I'm just gonna go fucking talk to this guy, just like straight up. And then, do you remember me coming up to you?
Oh yeah,
How
my
it went
break,
down?
my 15,
Yeah.
my usual route to downstairs,
Yeah.
out to rest on the outside, get
Yeah.
some sunshine, some vitamin D.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, this guy comes in front of me. Hey, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
I see your jacket, Real
Yeah.
Madrid.
Real
I was
Madrid,
like,
huh?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
recognize? Okay. Who you like?
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
other
yeah.
team's Tottenham, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we out
Exactly.
here. We out here.
That's how it came down. And well, the thing is, for me, I don't know if you feel this way, and you probably do feel this way about your sport too. But soccer is one of those things where you just don't see a lot of people appreciate it. So when I see someone else appreciate that same
No
thing,
matter the team.
Yeah, no matter the team, I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta talk. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a
Yeah.
fraternity in
Right?
its own.
Exactly. And I'll tell you right now, I don't see a lot of people repping. Actually, I take that back. Like the last year, I seen a lot of people wearing Sharks gear.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
like the jersey,
Yeah.
but like just gear in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
Like, which is I don't know if that's more of something happened this year or something, but
Yeah, I don't know. Or I mean, I think maybe what it is that just you've been watching it more because of me.
maybe I noticed
So
it
you're
more.
noticing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
more?
That could be it. That could be
yeah.
it. That's probably true.
Because when
actually.
I go to the Bay, then there's plenty of people. I wouldn't say there's a ton of people, but there's definitely plenty of people. Like it's noticeable,
Right.
Where it's common that you'll see somebody walking around with some Sharks gear. But
Exactly.
that's where the tank is, the Shark tank is. So
yeah.
it's pretty common. But down here, not so much. When I see someone
Yeah.
with a Sharks jersey on, I'm like, hey, okay.
I still haven't been to a hockey game myself, and I really genuinely want to go. Have you?
Never been.
Dude,
But
I
I'm
would
a
love to
Kings
go.
fan. I'm down.
Yeah.
Definitely down.
yeah.
Dude,
Oh yeah, you're a
LA
SoCal
Kings.
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
LA
you're a
Kings.
SoCal kid.
LA
Well,
everything.
Yeah, LA everything. There you go.
Yep.
And what brings you up north to NorCal, man?
Well, after I dropped out of NAU, I didn't want to stay in SoCal long to get back to college. So I community college for a semester or two, and then Sac State was the only school that accepted me. So I came up. I was like, all right,
Damn.
'cause
It's
I'm
like
not
a
trying to
sign.
stay here for a year or
It's
two.
like a
you
sign.
know?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, here we go. I'm Sac
Yeah.
916
How long you been here now?
since 2015 spring.
Damn, you've
6
been here for
years.
quite a bit now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I
Yep.
still get that, like, because the way you talk about up here, it just seems like it's more like a
second
bit-
language.
Yeah,
almost.
it's like you're still. I'm actually from the Bay. I'm visiting over here.
Mm-hmm.
I see
all right, that's all right. I was like, oh, snap.
No, yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, probably the best decision. Oh yeah, it's another thing too.
is.
I met this guy at work, right? And like maybe like what 8 months goes by. I've been talking about moving to the city with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, like just things worked out in our favor. We just literally both moved to the city on the same exact day.
I know that's
Yep.
crazy. I remember helping you move.
Yeah,
and telling me about that. I was like,
yeah. Like literally the same day. So it's like
That's tight.
it's yeah. Not to say the least. Since then, we've been seeing a lot of each other on the weekends. Let's just say that to the
Oh,
least.
yeah,
So,
right.
yeah. And we go from the beginning. Like we're going back to the sports thing tomorrow. Tottenham and Man City.
Ooh, big game, big
So,
game.
Come close.
Yeah, City fan. If you guys didn't know that,
Yeah.
who does watch soccer, and then the Tottenham fan.
Damn
for
near got
Premier
City
League,
blue
so.
on right now, bro.
There you go, see?
Damn near.
You know what's going on?
You got Chelsea blue on.
I was like, oh crap, I can't say any blue because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
Chelsea blue.
Hell
I
yeah,
can't rep
hell
that.
yeah, hell
but
yeah.
Tottenham Platinum blue.
Yeah.
we got Newcastle, so we'll be all right. But yeah,
At home,
that's the
too.
game. I think you guys are the first game of the week, right?
Yeah, 9:30. Technically not the first game of the week, but yeah, 9:30 game, the main game of the week.
Main game.
Exactly.
That's
the
right.
first
That's
main
right.
game.
Yeah,
9:30.
Well, I'm excited for that.
Me
so.
too.
Yeah,
It'll be a good game.
That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, man. I'm definitely excited. So yeah, we've been
3-1 Spurs.
I don't know.
Oh, I think I went exactly the opposite. I went 3-1 City.
It's probably gonna be that.
Yeah.
I think in the main picks, like for the money, I put 1-1, and then for our picks in the league, I put 2-1 City.
Interesting.
Yeah,
What makes you want to do 1-1 for the money? I
It's
feel
better-
like
it's a better
2-1's
bet.
more accurate.
it's a better bet.
Okay.
You gotta know Jose's tactics, man.
I did 2-1 for City.
Oh, for the thing. Yeah.
for everything. 2-1, 3-1.
Hey, we'll see. You know how it
No
goes.
faith.
We never know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah, I know. It's unpredictable.
yeah,
It is,
exactly.
really is.
Yeah. No, but we've had some wild times together. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Just last weekend, Super Bowl was that time, and we actually got featured on the news.
Yeah, CBS.
We
local
were on
news,
CBS 13, man. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
That's tight.
I got a
That's
snap
tight.
from my sister-in-law just saying, "What the hell are you doing on the news?" And just sent us just cheersing
Yeah.
in a big group, just
Well.
cheersing on the news.
Just being rad.
It was like one of
Being
these.
rad.
It was like one of these.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Being
Yeah,
rad.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
looked
yeah.
cool in that pic. I'm just mad that your sister only took the half of the TV. She had like a big screen TV,
Yeah.
and she only
Yeah.
took half the TV, which
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
you and Johnny.
Yeah.
My boy Adrian. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see my black hand right there. She would just took the
You were
whole
in there.
TV.
You were
Yeah,
in there.
I'm like, oh, I wanted
Yeah.
to show that to my fam too,
Right,
but
yeah.
it's all
For
good.
real.
Oh, you know what? She sent me a recording. I'll send it to you after the show.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet.
there we go.
yeah,
Perfect.
and then you were in it. You
Cool.
were in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely be very pleased with it too, because
Oh.
he definitely stood out of everybody.
Nice.
Because the camera panned, and he was just like this.
That's what's up.
All
All
right,
right.
all right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Don't really forget that.
How
I'll
is
send
it?
to you.
How is it that we just stumble upon these situations?
Dude, it's just downtown life. I think.
I know.
man.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Ever
what
since
it
I moved to the
is,
city,
huh?
there's been a shift in that, right?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot more things have just been happening.
Activity.
Like just weird stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that, the first time we went out, like just on the town with us three, the first time, I'm pretty sure you guys jumped in like a party or something, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, dude.
That's
well,
an
we
interesting
I don't
story.
know how we lost you.
I don't even know what we're doing that night.
We were drinking for sure. That's
Yeah.
what we were doing.
Yeah.
It was Halloween. Wasn't
It was no. I was before Halloween.
It was the week before Halloween.
It was
yeah.
before Halloween. We
We
went
had,
downtown.
we had
were
like a
drinking.
warm up
I
night
think
before we went to Halloween.
Yeah, we went down to
Or the
Zebra,
day before.
and we
Yeah.
were all drinking. Somehow we got separated from you, and I don't know if you went back home or what. And it's just me and Mars walking down the street, and then we heard there was a window. We walked by a window. There was like some music and shit. We heard girls laughing. Like, all right. So then Mars just reaches up and knocks on the window. And then we just stand at this dude. It's like a big gated like apartment complex, and some dude walks around and goes, "What's up?" I'm like, "Oh, we're here for the party." He's like, "Oh, is it?" Yeah. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And then so he's like, "Okay." He like opens the door. I'm like, "What's up? What's your name, man?" He's like, "But John." I'm like, "Oh, my name's John too." So we like hit it off. He's like, "Yeah, come on." We're all having a good time. We go inside. We walk into the doors, and there's a few girls sitting on the couch and stuff. And there's like one or two dudes. And then we're in there. We start talking to the girls, to the dudes, shit. And then one guy comes over. He goes, "Who do you know here?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Who do you know here?" I'm like, "Oh, we know a few people." I'm like, "My boy John at the door." He's all, "Nope, no."
Yeah,
And
he's standing there like,
he's
"Oh,
like,
that's
"No."
a stranger."
And then he's like, "You guys gotta go. You gotta go now." We're like, "Ah, okay, whatever." We tried.
I can't believe John didn't help you through.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Hey, if it was just his party, if it was his party,
Oh, you'd be in.
oh, we'd be in
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we hit it off with that dude. But
Do you guys ever go in those like little sprees and then you like end up staying there for a long time and you like connect with somebody on a whole drunken level, and at the end of the night they're like, "Oh yeah, put my phone in your shit, man. Hit me up tomorrow. Like we'll go out and do things, right?
Yeah.
We'll do this stuff." And then the next morning you're just like, "Who the fuck's Greg?"
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
time, dude. There was a point in my life where it was literally like probably once a week or once every 2 weeks. I would go through my phone and be like, "Don't remember who you are. Don't remember who you
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Don't delete."
I
like, all these
I
contacts.
love the things that you see on their contacts.
Like
It's
when you
like-
label them something.
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
It's like Christy, big lips,
Yeah, yeah,
high
yeah.
pants,
Yeah.
fucking zebra.
Dude,
Zebra.
Yeah.
Got a zebra there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, there's stuff of just like Craig Fohawk. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Just like the randomest thing you'll see in there. Jill Benjamin Franklin. What was that story?
Yeah, what the fuck?
what was that story?
yeah, literally,
why did
what
you
was her
name?
story, dude?
What was that
What
name?
was her
You
story?
know what I mean? You throwing
Yeah.
Benjamins or
That's
what's
why,
going
dude,
on?
honestly,
Was that a stripper?
I think I need
Never know.
to develop this new tactic that I've been thinking about, and it has to do exactly with this situation. What I need to start programming my body to do when I'm drunk is, as soon as I get somebody's information, I need to take a contact photo with that person. me and that person and set it as my
You won't
contact
remember
icon.
that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If I can program my drunken self to do that consistently, I feel like it's a way better system than trying to describe it in the name. And then you have a fucking 180 character name. You're like, well, who is this?
Yeah. That's why I feel at the same time I've always wanted to do that thing where you just put a fucking GoPro on top of your head, man, and just see what happens.
Dude, it wouldn't. I think we might be arrested. We'd be in jail for some shit.
I couldn't show it to the public.
No, I saw this guy pour a beer in a cop car one time.
Yeah, that's true. That happened.
Bro,
happened one time.
We can do that, especially with you. You wear glasses. We can
Yeah.
buy those camera
spy
glasses.
cams.
Yeah, spy cams, dude. Like it'll record like a good 2 hours of video. No problem.
That's the classified where the guy was just like.
Do they have prescription spy glasses?
Who cares? Just wear them.
I mean, I guess
Dude,
this guy doesn't wear his glasses anyway.
I think they have like Google glasses, no?
I'm sure they have them.
Google
man.
Gaga?
Google Gaga?
Google
Google glasses.
What do you mean? What is that?
Like they're like smart glasses.
And it has like
Google.
a touch screen. You like fucking.
I think you can like see a little, like a
Into
baby
the
screen,
future?
maybe. Baby screen, maybe into the future. I don't know.
Whoa,
It's one of those things.
That can't be true.
Sounds like it's just came out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of
I'd have to look into
technology.
it. But
if it is real, we don't have access to it.
yeah,
That's
we
for
can't
sure.
Definitely can't afford
We
that.
definitely can't
afford that.
Yeah.
exactly.
7 bones.
It's
or
like
Yeah,
fucking 80 grand a lens, one lens. You're like, but I need both of them.
Do you think?
Nah.
Do you think you'd be more
You
like?
get a monocle.
Do you think you'd be more
Classic.
like? All right, this is cool. This is an awesome thing. When you go out on your nights, like, oh, it's nice. It's nice to relive this. Or do you be more like, oh my god, like,
No,
kind of scared?
I don't
like,
want to know.
You don't want to know?
No.
Yeah.
There's stories I have where I'm like, I did that.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa.
and then
Yeah.
especially some of the chicks that I banged are probably they look great. I mean, they're probably not that bad, but they definitely looked better when I was drunk.
Hey, it's anyone who's actually listening to that. He doesn't mean that.
Hey, I still did you. Come on. I'm not a 10. I'm not a 10.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe they regret it too.
No,
You know?
trust me. Oh, trust me. Dude, I'm somebody's fucking whiskey goggles.
I'll
for
tell
sure.
you what though. That night when we went out with Trevor, you guys know Trevor. That night where he got hit by the car.
Well,
I would love to have seen
yeah.
that on the camera. I want to see what that was like.
Yeah.
I can't believe you got hit by a car, bro.
I feel like it was exaggerated. Trevor seems to be the guy that exaggerates things a little. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he didn't get hit by a car.
Yeah,
But the way that he sold the story, I feel like is probably a little bit embellished.
definitely. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe he did. Maybe he got fucking smacked. I don't know.
Show me
but
the
I'm
footage.
just saying.
Show me the footage.
Show me the footage.
Show me the footage.
Well, dude,
Show me the
it's
footage.
like the
Hey,
Black Mirror
pics, or
episode.
it didn't happen.
Right, Picture didn't happen.
That's
it's like
exactly-
the Black Mirror
that's
episode.
exactly what I
where
was
like
thinking in my
replay
mind.
the.
I would.
Fuck
Did you get that?
What?
That kind of technology?
Hell, would I get it? Like
Yeah.
if it was voluntary?
Heck
Yeah.
no.
No.
Heck no.
Why would I want that?
Nah.
That's kind of crazy.
Anything in Black Mirror? No, I'm good. Anything in that show at all? I'm
Yeah.
staying away from.
I mean, you can kind of see it happening though.
No,
you could.
yeah.
That's the point of the show. Technology is taking over the world slowly but surely, and it's gonna consume people to certain extents, and you're gonna see crazy. Yeah.
How far along do you think where we start hitting like a drastic shift,
I think
like a
we're already-
pivotal shift,
Technology wise, or
Yeah.
or like microchip wise? Like what do you mean?
I would say like just a drastic thing, like wow, I've never heard anything like that before. and
Where
it's
something
happening now.
changes the way that mass people think
Yes,
or something?
yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, or just how mass people like do things.
I think probably it would take a
The next
decade.
iPhone.
I think
kind
it,
of breakthrough.
I think a decade.
Decade.
Yeah.
I think we're a little closer.
I
Well,
don't
say 8
think
years.
it's gonna 8 yeah, dude.
But guess what?
Yeah.
There's already chip technology where people actually prefer to have their fob and
It's-
their wallet and everything
Yeah.
embedded in their
Yeah.
skin.
Well, there,
so
what
just-
Yeah.
company was that where it was like a time clock where you scan in like that?
I've just seen it
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I
I was
forget
like,
what it
that's
was.
crazy.
I seen people like unlock
That's
their
crazy.
like their car. and
But
shit
they're
like that,
exactly.
yeah.
You insert chips now. Like
I've
that's
seen that.
that's today.
Dude,
That
you
is
know what I would
That's
get?
insane.
I would
Open your
the
Tesla.
only implant I would
Crazy.
get is if I could shoot web like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'd get that shit implanted tomorrow.
Well, now we have all.
What are you gonna do with that? I gotta know. What are you gonna do with that? Just like,
Dude, you can win any argument. Nope, you're wrong. Fucking webbed mouth, and then I just walk away. That's the superhero equivalent of the mic drop.
I've noticed that before. Like he's done that before, like in the movies and stuff, where
Yeah.
he web their faces. You ever notice that it covers their nose too? Like, dude, he's gonna die. You
Well,
ever notice that?
I don't feel like I don't think
fearful.
that is that murder.
you gotta
That can't be murder.
It's not that thick web.
He has a chance to fucking get it off his face, right?
Does he?
It's not my
I think
fault.
it's like titanium alloy.
porous. Porous. You can
Yeah,
breathe
you
through
can
that.
breathe through a web. Yeah, you
You
might
have to
not
close your mouth.
You
if
might
I'm
not be
with
able to breathe very well.
Yeah.
If you open his mouth and squirt it all down his throat, then maybe that's a different story.
Yeah. See, now we're getting the eras where just like
Yeah, I might
suffocation.
kill someone with web.
I just can't. Me personally,
Crazy.
suffocation freaks me out, man.
Or just like if
It
there's
freaks me out.
I mean, yeah. I can see that.
Do you have any uncomfortable like ways of death like that? Like, dude, oh my god.
I mean, if I gotta die, of course, I'd rather die in the most peaceful and painless way. But
I feel like that's probably most people.
it's everybody.
I just feel like that's.
I'm not afraid of death.
Boring way.
In your sleep?
Yeah.
Dude, I'd rather die in my sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd rather die like doing something just crazy.
Whoa.
Like off a waterfall, just like
On a fucking
canoeing or
mechanical
something.
bull?
Yeah.
Dude.
Like,
Not
he
surprised.
fell off and
Yeah.
fucking busted his temple on a
and
fucking
then I
wine
stood
glass.
up, and then the butt hit me or something. Yeah.
He got gored. Straight got gored.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'd rather go out an interesting way. I don't know. Everyone dies in their sleep. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Well, yeah, but it depends on the age. If I'm me now, yeah, take me out. I don't want to just be like, oh, what happened to Johnny? Oh, he passed away in his sleep. How old was he? 28.
Yeah.
28? What the fuck's going on then?
Oh, he was fucked up.
Blacked out beyond.
He got blacked out and fell asleep face down in his pillow. He suffocated himself.
Yeah.
Suffocation. Oh my gosh.
No breathing.
No,
No
fucking
breathing.
like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's that. I can't go out that way. I'd have to go something. Then again, though, I wouldn't want to have a physical pain of like say I went down that waterfall and I just like shattered something and feeling that pain until I died. It has to be instantaneous death, like a splat.
Well, you don't get to choose. You don't get to pick and choose.
You just said you want to pick to go to sleep.
Either you have an adventurous death or you have a fucking. You don't get to choose the fucking severity of how much you feel pain.
Why? Because you spent the severity of how often you don't feel when you go to sleep.
But yeah, but what? What do you mean, though? But
Why can't I have a choice?
Because you can't have a choice. What are you doing when you die? That is the choice.
Paragliding, yeah, slamming into.
You just
right into a mountain.
you come down.
Switzerland.
Here's how you die in a paragliding accident. Is you come down so fast and you're ready to land, but your landing gear doesn't come up, and you land on asphalt and you just grind into nothing. You're just a schmear on the asphalt.
I'm just a skeleton at the end of it.
No, dude, you're just powder. You're just pink mist on the pavement.
Pink mist.
On the pavement.
Nice.
That's how you do it.
I mean,
a cheese grater.
That'd be painful.
But it wouldn't be very long.
What if I got knocked out on the way down and
then
just,
yeah,
that's
maybe.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
All right, there you go.
Fine.
So you died in your sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I died getting knocked out.
I
I was still conscious.
No, you were unconscious.
How do you
I
knock
was
out?
sleeping.
kind of conscious.
No.
I guess you panic so much that you knock out. You're just crap.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna knock out from floating.
And then he
right?
wakes up as soon as his nose touches the pavement. He's like, ground down.
Talk about a nosedive, huh?
Oh, there you go.
Anybody want hamburgers? Anyone want hamburgers? Fire up that grill.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Fucking ground beef.
Right?
Let's move on from death.
Yeah.
Too much life ahead of us. Why are we thinking about death,
Right.
guys? Come on.
I mean,
Too
Well,
much
death
life
is a
ahead
part
us.
of life.
death
It
is a
is.
part of life. Death is a part of life.
Embrace
I
it.
mean,
Maybe not as far as we take it because we think it's hilarious, but
yeah, exactly.
Other than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Reminds us of our mortality, so let's
Yeah.
definitely hey, we cherish every moment we're alive. And
Yeah.
then I realized something today. In fact, this morning, you know how the phrase is "time is money." I'm gonna say it for the first time on a public radio show or podcast. So time is definitely 10 times more valuable than money, obviously. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So why do people say time is money, money is time? No, those
Yeah.
two aren't equivalent at all. It's
No.
time greater than money. Right?
yeah, they're not comparable.
Well, in a social society that we live in,
Oh, yeah,
money,
capitalist society.
money,
Yeah.
and
No.
capitalist society, money buys your time if you have enough of it.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
That's what I think it kind of does go
I would
hand in hand. The
I
way
would
we
say
live.
I would reiterate the phrase and say time accumulates money. I think that's probably more
and money accumulates time.
feasible. It does.
Try buying more time for your life.
Money
Try buying
wastes time.
Try buying time
If
for your guys'
anything.
life or anybody's life, right? The richest
Yeah.
man in the world could ask for
I'll offer
5
you-
more years.
well, I
you know,
mean-
good luck getting it with your money.
I'll offer you $1 billion
He could.
to take your life.
Wait, what?
All right, upload me into the
To the
ether.
ether.
Upload
To the
me to the ether like Walt Disney or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
keep
that'd
my
be
head in
tight.
this little. Then
Yeah.
you buy that, I
Dude.
guess. But are you really alive?
If that technology existed, would you guys do it? Like transfer your brain into something else?
that
Like
was a
another-
Black Mirror episode, I'm sure.
Probably. I don't
Wait,
know.
into something else?
Like another body or like a robot or something?
I have the same thoughts, but it's in like another being.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
robot?
it's like your brain, but like your consciousness is in
Consciousness
something
is
else.
uploaded into.
Did I already know what's gonna? Did I know
You're
what's
like a
gonna
flash drive. They stick a flash drive in your neck going,
Bro,
and then plug it into something else. And then
this
now-
is a Black
Can I
Mirror
come
episode.
out?
Huh?
Can I come out? I live it for a little bit and come out, or is I'm there for the rest of my
You're
life?
there for the rest
Yeah,
of your life.
that's it.
The
You
transfer, once
transferred.
Yeah.
Transfer complete.
I don't want it then.
That's how you live eternally.
What if you're 98 years old on your deathbed?
Yes, 120%.
Then you want it?
Yeah.
Whoa, he changed his fucking stance real quick.
I'm just talking about here right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, he wouldn't want that now because there's too much life to live. But we
Yeah,
got 98
so-
on his deathbed. Oh,
So,
I'll take that out.
I'm a
Yeah,
young,
but
I
I'm a young
definitely
old
wouldn't,
man.
Not me.
Yeah, I'm a young old man.
I'm a young
But
old man.
but what if your consciousness gets put into a robot that can just live forever?
Nah,
Nah, I
it's
don't want.
fake.
I don't want
It's
to live
artificial.
What if it's like 500 years?
I don't want that. I don't want that long.
You don't want that?
Nah,
How do you know that
Why
robot's
would
going
you
to
do it when it's
survive?
89 then?
I just want a little more. I feel like I feel like
You're always gonna want a little bit more. That's called greed.
89.
my
no, but I
friend.
feel no, I don't know. I feel like at a certain age you're just like, just take me out. I'm done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're that old at 89 or 90,
So
bro?
you just want the choice. I feel like
But-
89
no, but
is
me-
that's your time.
But for
take me
but
out.
for me, I feel like I'm kind of like behind. So by the time I hit 90 or whatever, I'm just like, I get it a little bit more. So just give me a little more time. I could probably make a little bit more of this, and then I won't have enough time. But if the technology's there, just give me like 10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
I don't know.
Embrace
man.
death.
10 years.
Embrace the natural
Yeah.
death.
No,
Embrace the
I
natural
think-
transition.
I think I just read that the oldest person or oldest lady or something like that was like she just celebrated her 117th birthday.
Wow.
I think that was the number.
My neighbor right here, 95 years old. I just went and hooked up her water heater yesterday.
Dude,
Nice.
if you live through a century,
Dude, she's still walking around, driving. 95 years old,
Bro,
dude.
Yeah.
she's seen all the world wars.
no,
She's
yeah,
seen-
oh yeah, that was the fact I read. The person who was celebrating the birthday, she lived all the world wars, and then like the one of the biggest flus or something, one of the biggest sicknesses that came
Spanish
through.
flu, I believe. I might be
I don't know
1800s. I'm not
yeah,
too
it
sure.
might
I'm
have
not-
been back
yeah,
then, but
pandemics.
it's one of the biggest things in all the world wars and everything. She's
Yeah.
still like blowing up. Dude, first of all, if I was that old, I'm tired of blowing out these fucking candles, bro. Can we change it?
Yeah.
Can I like throw
Dude,
something?
You know what? You
Like, I just let
got to
it-
get him one of those air bazooka things to blow out the candles.
Oh yeah, I used to have one of those.
Those are kind of tight.
Those are kind of tight until I realized like
They weren't that tight.
yeah.
They're tight for like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah,
When you get it, you're like,
they're cool.
oh,
the
tight.
thought of it is cooler
Yeah.
than like actually
Yeah,
having it.
yeah.
Like if you're someone else, is like, oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
But like if
But
you
then
want
once
it,
you have,
it's
you're
like
like,
it's more of a thing just to show.
yeah.
Like, here you go. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
have
can
one of
have
these.
it.
Yeah, you can have it.
Yeah,
Take it with you.
Go ahead and get tired of it.
Yeah. Get over it in like an hour. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Makes sense, makes
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah. So I mean, no, yeah. It's just we gotta change the system though. At least change the song. I can't be doing Happy Birthday
Change the
every single
station.
time for one whole.
Hey,
goddamn
have you heard the soul version? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to ya.
That never gets old for me.
I-
Happy birthday.
I've never
Stevie
been.
Wonder.
Yeah, I've never sent. No one's ever sent
Yeah.
that to me.
Yeah.
I've heard that version, but I mean, I'd love
I
to get a
mean,
mix
how
up.
tired of it could you really get though?
A decade
It's
long.
20 seconds. It's 20 seconds of your life.
Dude, I already I'm tired of it now.
you get spam emails more than you sing the song.
I don't even check those.
Exactly.
I have to listen to the song.
Well, you have to. Dude. You have to go to your phone, see the notification, be like, swipe. I don't want to read that spam email.
No, I actually put a setting where it actually doesn't even tell me anymore. Spam.
Well, how many emails do you really read though?
Not a lot.
Exactly. But you get notifications. I
No,
guarantee.
but only time I read emails is when I'm looking at it and
like when it's an email,
like-
I know I need. I'm
like,
getting.
you never get asked for verification on your
Yeah.
phone and like it says I want to send an email to you.
Yeah.
That's when I go and look at my
Yeah,
email.
exactly.
Other than that,
Yeah.
don't even look at it.
Yep.
So, that's another
Same
thing.
here.
Leave email in 2020. Leave that behind. I'm done with email
I know.
too.
Yeah.
What's
I mean, there's
next?
too much spam. Yeah, what's next? Exactly. That's the bigger
Mail
that's the
straight
big
to your
budget.
mind. Hey,
I
I
know.
paid you guys.
Right?
Through your minds.
Yeah. See, email is like a 2020 thing. Leave it behind. We're done with it. Leave the birthday songs. Leave
Leave grandma.
leave Katrina.
Leave grandma behind.
You know what I
Corona.
mean?
Leave Corona.
Yeah, leave Corona. Hey, for real.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Another thing too.
Nah,
we
you know
got
what?
Case
Bring
of
Corona
Rose
on
coming.
back. Bring back.
You know what's insane? Yeah, you see,
There you
hey,
go.
the fact that you brought that out, you know what's insane? I don't know if we've talked about it before, but when Corona first hit, their sales dropped 60%.
Oh,
Just
I believe-
because of the name.
Yeah.
It's because of the naivety.
Just because of the name.
everything,
the
yeah.
stupidity of Americans.
That's-
They're like,
it's
oh, you get
insane.
coronavirus from
Let me-
drinking Corona.
That
That was literally a legit
just,
thing.
Just,
Yeah.
just real
It's
quickly.
on the news.
Why is when a pandemic like this happens from Corona, the beer sales drop, and let's say, fuck it, we need toilet paper. Where in
You
your
got-
minds?
Panic buying.
You gotta wipe your ass, bro. You gotta wipe your ass.
But why didn't you buy water? And would you, if this was
Did you
the
not have
end
to wipe
of the
your ass
world,
before the pandemic?
Well, here's
What
the-
were you doing before? Were you
buy
wiping
water, buy
smelling it? What's
canned
going
foods, earthquake kits? You know, like this is what things you buy. You don't buy TP.
If I
And
were-
you're-
if I-
Come on, that's the last thing.
If I ran out of toilet paper, I'm just gonna jump in the shower.
Yeah.
Like, come
Yeah. Water supply's cut off, man. I can't.
on. The water, dude. If
I'm
the water
using that couch cushion right
if the
there.
water supply is cut off, then people are going
Disgusting.
hectic. You're probably getting
Yeah.
murdered. If the water supply is cut off, people are coming to your house
Well,
looking
they
for your shit.
actually did that in SoCal. I heard they for people who had like
Well, yeah, that's because LA technically doesn't even have its own water supply. It's pumped
no
in.
when people had like gatherings more than like 5 people when it was severe,
They were all
like,
wiping each other's asses.
No, when people came through there, they're like, "Yo, if we catch you with like more than the limit, like we're turning off your power and shit and your water and all that." I'm like, "Damn."
Who said that? Just the guys?
Like the county officials.
Was shutting off your water.
Yeah, if they were that,
Well, yeah,
they were that
that's-
serious about it. They were that serious
Yeah.
about
It was a drought.
it. Yeah. I mean, hey, every year there's a drought over there, so shit.
Shit. I'm going through a job myself.
Yeah, I know, right? Just,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
man.
Use that dirt over there, you know what I mean? That's all you need. That's good enough, right?
Shoot. If there's ever a drought, we got plenty of alcohol to drink.
I mean, we
Just
also,
kidding, just
hey,
kidding.
that's
I don't-
what,
I don't-
hey, the
definitely
only
don't
Corona I'm
support
trying
that.
to get is in this Corona and lime, you know
In
what
this
I mean?
system.
So I'll cheers to that. I'll swallow this one down the hole too.
Hey, cheers. He's already done.
I mean,
We're going to get you your corona right now.
right? I'm trying to test positive.
That's a G right there.
Shotgun.
Yep. Oh, look out.
Wait. Dude, there's still foam in there. I see it, dude.
Let it go.
Let it
Let it
go. Let it go. Let it go.
I love that movie.
That's not Corona. It's just beer.
It's just beer.
It's just beer.
Did you break it?
Speaking of corona,
hope
3
not.
cases.
Break what? No, I hope not.
Chicken fries.
Oh, you got it right.
Yeah, I already did mine.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And then I wish for more beer.
Boom. Oh, you have it.
Well,
Oh my God. All right. All right.
I made it through the camera loop. That was
Nice.
tight.
Nice.
I made it through there.
Whoa.
It's an Olympian right here. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
dude. Hey.
2020
Hey,
Olympics.
I'll tell you right now.
2021
And
Beer
like,
Olympics.
Yeah,
If we ever make it to 2050 and beer Olympics is actually a real thing in the
Yeah.
Olympics, I'm nominating this guy to go.
I'll go. I'll sign. I'll go.
Because it's not about. I bet there's people who can drink more than him. It's
Yeah.
about the heart that he keeps going, and he doesn't know he's doing it, but it's his drunken state. Because we've seen this guy go to like what 6, 7, 9, 12, 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy,
Unfortunately.
he's a winner. You know,
So
he's a real winner.
if he can marathon drink, I wonder if you can marathon eat hot dogs and win one of those hot dog eating contests that happen every year. Like, I feel like
Is
you'd
that
be
a
good.
I think that's a sprint though. That's
Him?
like a ton.
Him?
That's like
Yeah.
it's a
Talk about him?
real
I
fast.
get him drunk enough. I think
No.
Johnny maybe. Would you
no,
want
no,
to do
no,
that?
No, he wouldn't. I'm
Nah.
gonna speak for you just
Yeah.
because there's times where he's hammered. I'm like, you probably eat something. He's like,
Nah.
and just drinks more.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That
I'm
sounds
kind of
right.
the same way, especially when I'm hungover. I just can't eat.
Yeah.
I'd rather just drink. You know?
Yeah.
You
Beer
know?
says calories too, right?
Yeah, I mean,
carbs and
empty
calories.
calories.
Yeah, it makes me full.
Empty calories, you know
Empty
what I mean?
calories.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. I'm not fat because I eat a lot. I'm fat because I drink a lot.
Whoa.
I'm not fat because I eat. I eat because I'm fat.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa. This thing has protein too. You got 1.2 grams of protein, 13.9 grams
Oh, yeah,
of
it does.
carbs.
Yeah, that's why I work out with
That's
this.
crazy.
Yeah, it's,
All
all,
right.
it's all the bacteria.
That's the
Hey,
creatine.
All right,
Yeah.
to
First.
hopefully getting out of this. Do you think Corona's gonna be done at the end of this year?
No.
It's a Corona.
To Corona then.
Yeah. Fuck it. Prost.
This is the new Corona world.
Yeah.
Thanks to the deep state, by the way, not by any natural causes.
Right.
Just saying.
So that was a crazy transition from fat side to that. Ooh.
Yeah, definitely different.
All right.
I think we need to wash
Let's
it down. One more
as,
hot
as
dog
we're as we're pouring these,
Mhm.
we're gonna do something a little bit here.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed this, but we have something for you. John, go ahead and show what's what.
We got a sack.
Oh,
And in this sack,
okay. I didn't know there's anything in there.
Exactly. You didn't notice that.
there's some questions here.
Oh, popcorn
Huh?
questions. I love it.
All right, here we go.
What's the worst date you ever had?
Oh, dang. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've had those nights where download Bumble, then 2 weeks later meet somebody, and then it didn't turn out how I expected.
Did you actually go out? Like you went out like on a physical date?
Yeah,
Like,
we met at an
do the
ice
whole
cream
spiel.
shop or
There you
something.
go.
Picked her up at her apartment and took her to an ice cream place, something like that. Yeah, it was kind of bad. I mean, let's try to like be nice. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
just ride it out.
I would like to actually be like a fly on the wall of a bad date with you because I feel like
It's not bad.
It was never really bad.
To them, they'd be like, "Oh, this is going along great."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee you would never say anything like that. Like, you would never say that.
I mean, was there a significant thing that happened that's unforgettable that made it that bad?
I mean,
or you just weren't
weren't feeling it.
Just weren't vibing, exactly. It's not the person. It's more of the chemistry. We just met online. It's just like, whoa, like what's going on?
I've been in situations like that where it's like you keep trying to like start conversations and stuff, but it just never really goes anywhere.
Yeah, it just kind of fizzles out, and then
eventually you're just licking an ice cream cone by yourself, but you're together. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
and then there's actually one where actually she's pretty cool, and I'm actually thinking like, wow, why did I not hit her up again? Oh yeah, it's because I'm fresh off my breakup. Not fresh, but like because freshish. Yeah. And I'm like thinking about her. I'm like, she's a cool woman. She likes soccer. She's a Bayern fan. She was an awkward kisser. I'll just say that. But I mean, other than that, like she was cool. Like we vibed on this cool show on Netflix called not New Girl, but it's the one where they're in heaven.
Oh yeah,
I forgot what it's
Good
called.
Place.
Good Place. Yeah. We were vibing on that show. That was a cool show.
That was cool.
But yeah, I might hit her up again just to see how she's doing. Just kind of be friendly.
So you've never had any like train wreck?
Nah, no train wrecks. Everything was just like it's either I wasn't feeling her, we weren't feeling each other. It just wasn't gonna be
maybe not right time. Too.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be just wrong time.
Exactly. Not on the right momentum, not on the right chemistry. You know what I mean? Vibration levels are off, right?
Exactly.
All right.
That's why
I had some bad ones.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you.
You ask me.
I want you to go first. I'm trying to think still because I really don't know.
I've had some bad ones. I've had one. Well, I mean, it wasn't the worst date that I could have had, but I just didn't really like the girl. It was it was a double date, and I was friends with the girl that was the other, like she had a partner, and she's like, "Oh, come out and like we're gonna double date. You meet my friend."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, "Oh yeah, she's super cool." I showed her a picture of you, like she says you're hot, all this stuff. I was like,
first of all,
I'm like, all right, so it was like a blind date. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
is that still a thing now?
I'm like, all right, okay. First of all, already hate it. Second of all, I'm like, you're my friend, so I'm gonna go for you. I'm not gonna go like
not for them.
And then we went, and she wasn't that bad looking, you know. She wasn't super my type, but it wasn't that bad looking. And
I
then,
know what you mean.
What?
It's not. Well, is it? I'm gonna. Excuse me. I'm jumping ahead here, but it sounds like something that I can relate to because now you sparked my mind too. I've definitely taken one for the team a couple times.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
All
This one was. I mean, you could say it was worse or better. I could have went either way, but I tried to lie my way out of. So we went out to dinner. And it was a double date, and I tried to lie my way out of the date. Like I went to the bathroom for like a long time. I came back, and I was like, pretending to get a phone call. I'm like, I gotta go. And then my friend's like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I just gotta go. And then the girl that I was being set up with was like, she was like, oh, she's like, okay. She seemed a little bit sad. And then so I started leaving, and she came up to me, like on my way out. Like she left the table and came up, and she's like, did I do something? Like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, everything's fine. I'm like, I'm really just not that into you right now. Like, I'm just not. You're not my type. I'm not feeling it. And it was like a blind date situation, so I'm just gonna go. And then she was like, she started tearing up.
I would have cried.
That's crazy.
She turned and walked away. I'm like, but I mean,
I feel her. Bro.
But which way is it the bigger asshole? Is it the bigger asshole if I stay and lead her on, or am I an asshole because I left? Like, I'm like, I was just in a weird situation, but I'm like,
right. Yeah, you sparked.
I literally was just here saying, I was sitting like trying to eat my food, like trying to fucking have a beer or two. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be here. It's weird. It's weird. I don't really like my friend's boyfriend at the time. They're not together anymore, but I didn't like him too much. I'm like, why am I on a double date with a girl that I don't know, and I barely even like your boyfriend? I'm like, this is just a weird situation. I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah. Poor girl.
Really.
Hey,
it happens.
She's probably in love now.
Yeah.
Hey, trust me, it wasn't gonna be with me.
There you go.
The longer I stayed there, it wasn't gonna make me like her more.
I guarantee you're just a stepping stone to a happier relationship.
Yeah.
So
she needed some harsh
words. You played your part.
You know?
You played your part. They only come up from that. You know?
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
You can only go up from there.
You can only go from there. Wow.
Fucking unfortunately.
I could have just been like, oh, everything's great, and then
exactly.
and then never talk to her again.
Me personally, I prefer honesty.
I
prefer honesty more than anything. So,
honesty. So on that note, real quick, I just want to say, like, I guess you could have took the middle ground, which is don't leave nor lead her on, and just kind of be there and be up front with her, be like, hey, I'm just here with my friend, but I'll
but then it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, but now just chat as friends, like maybe be first, just be friends.
Out and I think you did it right.
And then turn it into literally a friendly thing, like. just be honest with her. Hey, I'm here just for my friend, but we can be friends.
I don't
but
think
I'm not.
you can be friends like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Just sounds
because she was expecting more already. It was a double date.
Dang,
It was a double date.
It's her friend's fault. It's your
yeah,
friend's
exactly.
fault.
That's
your
what I'm
friends,
saying.
Yeah,
so
for
like,
hyping
it was just a
up
weird
that.
situation that now I'm stuck in.
Yeah.
Dang,
It was like a claw machine game. I just got picked up and then sat down in the booth
Yeah.
next to him. I'm
That's
where am I?
That's like 40% of your life, though.
Yeah, I know.
40%.
Yeah, and the other 60% I don't remember.
Exactly. I just live a lie, you know? Yeah, exactly.
That sounds about right.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you definitely remind me. Nah, so that's why I want to do it first. You reminded me of something
alright.
because for me, and you know the story. I wouldn't say. I guess it was a date because I was a little bit talking to this person at the time, but it was at a date of that person, so it was considered a date. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a first date or anything like that.
Yeah.
First knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but we went to this like social thing together. I drank a lot. She drove me, and it got to a point where she was dropping me back at my house, and she was at the point where like we were talking for a bit enough to ask like, so what are we? And I was like,
DTR.
I was like, listen, and I literally said this. I'm just a hermit crab changing shells,
And you don't quite fit.
and I'm just I'm just doing my thing, and just going to another shell. You know what I mean? And then she just looked at me. She's like, no.
She's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm just doing my thing,
Yeah.
and I just don't think this is the right shell. And I just gotta be a hermit crab just changing shells. I kept saying it over and
Like,
over.
I think I see one.
I kept
think
saying
I see a shell
I kept
down
saying it. I'm just the hermit crab just crawling
Dude.
out of my shell.
That's tight.
Yeah.
But you would say you're drunk already. Obviously,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
I could
for
see you just
sure.
be like,
For sure.
yeah.
just caught up in that awkward
I
situation.
no, it was the time like I was getting dropped off at my house. I was like ready to go in. I was gonna go. I was gonna get out, and then she like pulled away from my door or like almost around the corner. I'm like,
Whoa.
oh, like
now we're getting.
yeah. Now like all of a sudden I'm
Like,
gonna see.
wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I was like, my house is over there, and then it was like one of these where you pull the keys out of the ignition and I'm like,
Oh, you can't do that.
yeah. So
Can't
I
be
was
doing
like,
that.
what? And she was just like, so what are we? I'm like,
We're
Me?
here. We're home. We're home. That's where we are. We're at my house.
She's like, no, like I just feel like we're doing this thing. Like, what are we? I'm just like, I'm just a hermit crab changing shells.
Dude, you are the sort of pretentious it takes to say something like that. You actually are that.
What do you mean?
You're pretentious enough to say that.
I don't know
to
what
a
do you
girl.
mean?
Like you're very. I feel like you won't ever be an asshole on like just straight out, but you will be an asshole just because you genuinely are that.
I like.
That's
I try to be a
you-
protective asshole.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Just
so,
a hermit crab
You're a,
changing
you're a
shell.
you're a defensive.
Think about that.
You're a defensive asshole. You are a defensive asshole.
You literally told her like you're not the right like.
Like, look, hey, I'll
Try to
bang
find
you.
a-
Thanks for taking me out. Thanks for dropping me back off at home when I'm fucked up.
Thanks for letting me
But
live in your shell.
I don't like you.
Like, dude, you can't say that to women, bro.
I know,
Thanks for
but
letting me
I
live
know.
in your shell.
Thanks for
but
letting me
this
live
is
in
not
your
the right
Hey,
shell.
the thing is though, like
I
it
know.
was very clear in the beginning, like this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point like we're having this conversation like from the last time, and I had a decently serious one with her enough to like, I'm not interested. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying hanging out with you
Yeah.
and stuff. And then
Fuck
she
me
just
once,
kept,
shame on you.
Yeah,
Fuck
fuck
me
me
twice,
twice, shame on you.
Again.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and at that time, like, what do you expect? And I'm just thinking. I look back at that time. I'm thinking like, what can that girl just be thinking in her mind? A hermit crab changing goddamn shells?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Now she's gonna go get a pet hermit crab and study him for fucking 10 years.
right?
What she heard
crab
was
changing
you
shells.
just used me.
Now
Like,
she's-
that's what
yeah.
she heard. That's as
It's
a
not-
female,
it's
like
not,
the
though.
feminine. in
We
me.
had a good time at that place.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
I think that a guy's version of a good time and a girl's version of a good
That's
time are
true.
two different good times.
Yeah, it's true.
Because something can be physical, something can be emotional. It just depends on how you take it, I think.
And the time that we went to, it wasn't like romantic at all. It was like we went to a party, and I was talking to a bunch of other people.
Well, maybe she should have got the hint then. Sounds
Yeah.
like,
No,
maybe she's the
I was
asshole.
talking. I was talking to guys, girls. I was talking to all of them. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for that. I was just having a good time.
It was just
Literally
hermit
having a good
crab.
time. Changing shells. That's all I was doing. Hermit crab changing
Under
shells,
the
bro.
sea.
Under the sea.
Dude, I just know
Downwards
that's
with
your new Twitter pic, or at least your Twitter cover page right there.
Sebastian.
Yeah,
that's
Sebastian
it.
Crab is right there. That's
Hell
just
yeah.
then it'll be an inside joke that no one will ever get except us
Yeah,
three and our
so-
followers.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
So that was me. That was
okay.
me. That was me. So, but yeah.
So we need a shot for that one.
All right, let's take a shot.
Let's do a shot to that one.
Want to use the same ones or?
Yeah, of course.
And you're the guest. You go ahead and choose what we have.
Jack Daniels and Sailor Jerry's, because I know you like rum and you like whiskey. So.
Wait, mixing them?
No, one in each. Like, so you can get.
Or how about we just fucking mix them together and we all do the same shot?
I was gonna do.
Oh, you're gonna do a Henny again?
I was gonna do the Henny one more time. But you have your Sailors, you have your Jack, and then we can all take our personal.
Guys. Maybe we should just. Let's take a step back and do this thing the right way, huh?
All right, let's do one. Let's do one bottle. Sailors.
There we go. All right, decisive. I like it.
Just quick. That's the first thing I saw.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
Kind of want to rinse
You're
this
welcome.
out, but it's Tennessee. It all blends. It all blends.
Alcohol's alcohol, bro.
Yeah, it kills itself.
Destroys the germ.
Do you guys ever think that?
That's why we haven't
This
got
might be a
Corona
little
yet?
dark. This might be a little dark to you, but you guys ever just get that feeling that you're just gonna have a really bad stroke one day, and it's gonna be really bad, but
you can't do anything about it.
You can't really do anything about it. Yeah. The more I drink, I'm just like, it's coming. It's gonna come. It's gonna
you know
come.
what? I think that I honestly,
Oh, shit.
I honestly don't think about it too much because I've known people that have drank and smoked their whole life continuously,
And that gives me hope.
stop, lived a long time, and I know people that are super healthy that have fucking dropped dead. Like
exactly, it's so weird how it works.
You're never gonna be able to tell, so you might as well just enjoy your goddamn life while you got it.
Exactly.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Do you know what? You know what's the difference between what you just said? It's the attitude towards life. Because technically, some people are healthy, yes, but they're also
stressed out.
They're stressed out from their own lives,
and that plays a
kills
big
you.
toll on your body for sure.
And then those who are just drinking and living life, and they're drinking and living life. Their attitude's carrying them that long. You know, they're having a positive attitude and they're having the right outlook.
Well, it's just like even some of those situations you see, like where it literally does come down to mentality, like the. Like when people are like survive for like a long time, like if they're out in the wilderness, they get injured or something, they get like medevaced out, or like even on the seas, like when the ship's sinking and stuff. A lot of times they say like once the like the Coast Guard or whatever comes in like saves you, like they have to literally like tell them like, hey, like keep fighting, because once they feel like rescue's here, then they let go, they give up, they get relaxed. Yeah. And then it's that relaxing where it's like okay, I can go, and then they fucking die.
Exactly. That's crazy.
It's that internal fight that keeps
pure
you.
adrenaline that's keeping them alive.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of times it's literally that's all that you have. So like it's literally your mental, it's your whole being. You got to fight to survive, you know. Right. And then so once you let go, then what else? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy how much your mental plays on your physical.
Oh, it does.
It really does.
We'll allude to that later. We'll talk more on that later.
Hey, let's take these shots, huh?
Yep. Don't grab that chaser, bro.
Hey,
take it straight. Take it straight.
Speaking of the whole ocean thing, this is Sailor Jerry, right?
Yep.
Hey, to the Jerry. It's the sailors of the Jerrys over here. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go.
The captain.
El Capitan.
Sailing.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I heard it.
We can't let that go.
I heard it.
That was hilarious.
I literally put it in the mic for a reason. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
I thought you just said it under your breath.
Nah. I went, fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. Because I've heard you say that under your breath multiple times.
Dude, I almost say it almost every shot.
Probably literally every shot. I'm
not every shot.
I'm not really a shot man.
I'm not a shot man either.
It's
the fact that we do so much on this show is goddamn entertaining.
Dude, well, that was the thing about when this podcast started. Dude, it was over a year now, right? When did we actually start? We started this shit in the pandemic, really. The first episode was damn near. It was like literally right before it hit.
Yeah.
No. I thought you guys started in like October.
Episode 3 was COVID and Lyme.
He's thinking of
episode 3 or 4.
To clear it up is that we actually started our first episode, our OG one, on audio. And,
the audio,
SoundCloud, and that's the one he first listened to.
Yeah.
We didn't have it on YouTube. We didn't have visuals yet.
Yeah, we didn't even have.
He's an actual OG listener.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For real, yeah.
Cheers to you,
yeah,
sir.
Hey,
thank you guys.
No shit,
cheers to you.
Real,
yeah.
I get it every day when I hang out with you guys. So hey, had to.
There you go. Exactly. So I mean,
first time I ever met him, he goes, "Hey, Foggy thoughts in the flesh."
That's true. He did say that. He did say that.
Hey, 2 Bud Lights. That's the first thing I said, bro. I was like,
that's an OG. That's an OG.
Hell yeah.
See, and honestly, that still haunts my ears to this day.
I know it does.
And that's why this guy fucking did it when I was working one time, man.
Yep.
Yeah. If you guys don't know about 2 Bud Lights, you guys are definitely.
You got to go back. You got to go back quite a way.
Go to episode O.
Yeah,
0.
Find
on SoundCloud.
Early days.
Find it
on Spotify.
It's on YouTube now.
It's crazy.
That one is.
Yeah, the first one, episode 1 is. That was Rick and Reno, wasn't it?
No.
Episode 1.
Nope.
It's on YouTube. No, I listened to the podcast app. That's how I heard it.
You listen
Oh,
on
yeah.
SoundCloud.
No, not
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. The iPod, the iPhone.
iTunes?
Apple?
iTunes. Yeah, podcast.
Oh, so
iTunes
Zero must
podcast.
have went on that one too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
how I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah,
Reno.
yeah. Our
Yeah.
very first one's a little like kind of weird because of we had a visual first episode and an audio first episode.
Yeah.
We first started with just audio, and then
Yeah.
we decided to go with
Visuals,
So.
yeah.
So he's talking about the OG audio. So
If you know that
go
one,
back to that one.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty
You've
good.
been here
So,
for a long haul.
You've been here since the beginning.
It's crazy to think about how far we've come, though. Was it weird for you too?
insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, how many episodes deep? 16?
This is number
This is
19.
19.
Whoa.
This is episode 19 that we're recording. right
We're
now.
almost hitting about 2-0.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
20. Oh,
Yep.
gotta
But
do a
and
20th
that's
podcast.
not even counting the count, dude. I have I have on my phone. I have an audio for 10 hours. When we literally pressed record, we talked a whole bunch of bullshit, started drinking, forgot the phone was on, went to bed, woke up in the morning, and you can hear us watching the goddamn soccer game, dude. That's how fucking.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while.
We've been doing it for a while, just for shits and gigs. Like,
yeah. He
we're-
has that, and I have
before-
like 10 on mine too.
before Foggy Thoughts was ever even a Foggy Thought, we were recording on our phones.
Yeah, we actually had a different name and
We
everything.
we had really no intentions when we first started of even being a podcast.
Yeah.
we just thought that we were funny together,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, record,
Yep.
and then we were just fucking bullshit
Yeah.
and fucking sit at a table.
And now here we are, 20 episodes deep.
20 episodes deep.
Hey,
damn
to
near.
be honest, those are called the archives.
That's the
keep
archives
those.
for
Yep,
real.
Exactly.
Yeah, I call them like the
Oh.
hidden episodes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If you first of all, the O.O was one of the first hidden ones. Like if you know that
Yeah.
one, like that's a
Yeah.
OG one. Like
Yep.
go and listen to that one. That's a pretty gold one right there. These guys listen the whole way through. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
my favorite episode. Low
There you go, see?
And
That's
we're
what
trying
I'm
to we're trying to incrementally get better. You know?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
trying
I mean,
to-
we're trying.
improve.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
You
we've
guys
come
are
a
doing
long
what we
way.
can,
So
doing
we've
what
come
we
a
can.
long way.
Definitely
so.
come a long way.
Exactly, and exactly. All right, so let's spin it back. Let's spin the tables a
Spin
little bit. Fricky, yeah, fricky. All right,
Fricky.
so going back to that thing we just talked about, if you to die in your sleep or die, like I said in the canoe or whatever, right? We're all talking about that. Let's say the case that you did die, whatever. What do you think happens after death?
Well, depends. So I believe personally, right, as a Christian, that people choose their own destiny in this life we live now. I mean, we could choose to believe in Jesus Christ, and just simple as that, believe, right? Believe that it's real, and then seek that truth, kind of dig into that truth, and then let Jesus and the Holy Spirit transform you, Himself and God. Don't let any other man kind of influence your. Just seeking God is really what He paid for, is for us to be able to come to Him, like, without another man in between, He wanted a personal relationship with all of us. That's why He sent His Son. So, essentially, those who feel called to believe in that will be risen again. And before even the resurrection, when we die, when we pass away, we're going to be, when we're absent from the body, we're present with the Lord. So, essentially, we're immediately in heaven. We wake, as soon as we close our eyes here, we wake up there, and we're in heaven, like in the third heaven, which is above, outer space and everything. So that's that, of course. And then, unfortunately, those who don't believe, like the Bible says, John 3:16, everyone loves to quote. That's a very familiar scripture, but no one ever quotes John 3:17. 3:17 says, those who don't believe are condemned already, because technically this is your salvation, being saved from the world of sin and the wrath of God from this. But anyway, go ahead, raise your hand.
Jordan.
Sorry.
Yes,
I don't want to cut you off or
No,
anything.
okay, I'm done. That was it, pretty much.
Okay, cool. All right,
You're good.
I just want to give a little, like, take a couple of steps back. I just want to hear something from your end. You mentioned that you were a Christian.
Yes, sir.
How can you describe of like how far are you in are you like heavily a Christian? Are you partially Christian? Do you have other beliefs, or how often do you go to church? Like, what do you practice?
Yeah.
Like where do you come from?
I'm glad
before
you
we go
asked that.
before we go into deep. It was a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to
No,
know a
you're
little bit more before we get into it.
You're not at all cutting me off, my friend. Christianity is a very fickle term, right? It has, in fact, the Book of Revelation talks about 7 states of Christianity, right? And only 2 out of 7 are true Christians, according to the Book of Revelation, and according to Jesus Christ, who actually said these words in the Book of Revelation, chapters 2 and 3. Essentially, I'm aiming towards to be in Smyrna, in Philadelphia, right? Because it's all about the heart, right? You can go to church every Sunday. You can be the most religious person, right? But have not that love for God and the zeal for God. Then what are you doing it for? You're doing it for nothing. You're doing it as routine, which is that's the church of Ephesus right there. That's the very first letter addressed out of the 7, right? Jesus addresses the church of Ephesus and describes the religious routine.
So does this go back to the church? Is this the church teaching you this, or is this how you see things? Or
this is how God showed me all this from just reading the Bible, from reading the Word of God.
But you didn't learn any of this through church, though?
No. I mean, church is the one. Church, what church is for? Church, we are the church, first of all. Like the body of Christ is the church.
Right.
People who believe in Jesus Christ. Period. You're the church. Within that church, you learn the truth. What you do outside of the gathering, the community, what you do outside of that on your own time is totally up to the person. Mm-hmm. And that's where your true salvation kind of kicks in. That's kind of like, what are you doing on the outside? Are you going to church? Are you routinely?
For you personally, though, did it go church first, or go you reading it first to get you into the church, or like how did that go about?
So I grew up in this. Like my mom and dad, they hardcore Christians, right? They've always had the fire for the Lord and believed for my
Christian?
sister and I. Yeah, so I grew up Christian essentially.
Okay.
I grew up in a Christian home and everything, but I didn't become saved officially until I'd say like a couple months ago, to be honest. And that's the truth right there. Like,
and I'm sorry, I want to slow down anything, but how do you mean by saved? Like, do you mean just like believing in God, or just like, or?
So for me personally, since it's all about me, I fell under the religious category where I was Christian by name only and kind of just went to church because I knew it was the thing to do, and kind of seeking God at church only on Sundays type thing. I of course believed it, outside of Sundays as well, but never really pursued the truth. That's the difference. Do we pursue the truth? Do we pursue God? Do we pursue what's within Him? And that's what He's looking for. He wants that because that's what Jesus died for. And when Jesus said, "I have a table I'm leaving here to go set up a table for you to come and dine with us." And when he says us or with me, he means Him and the Father, right? Because the Father is in me and I am in the Father is what Jesus kept saying in John, or it was recorded what Jesus said. Like, it's the truth. So he suffered through this life so we can come and dine with Him up there and just spend time with Him.
And this is what you taught yourself and not from the church, right?
Well, I mean, the church definitely pointed the direction to that. They've always said meditate in the Word. They always said meditate in God, meditate in the Word. Right. Don't just come here and gather and that's part of it, of course. Being gathered with the community is part of it. That's definitely a big part. But there's that alone time with the Lord is the most important for true salvation. Right. So I was lacking in that.
Just to have affirmation on this, just to get clarity from you. So what do you exactly identify as? Are you Christian? Are you Christian with like different beliefs?
Extras?
Yeah.
Am I a heretic? Is that what you're asking? Am I unorthodox?
I don't know. You got to treat me like someone who doesn't know the vocabulary either. You know what I mean? I don't know what that means.
All right, so exactly what you said. Christian with an expanded mind. Think about it like that. If anything,
there you go.
Because that's what God is,
it's
man.
like the
God
base
is not
Christian,
a box.
but everything comes after that is like your own.
Exactly. Not my own. It's what God reveals to people, man. Like, and then you asked earlier if I taught myself this. No one taught me anything except God. Like, from me meditating in the Word, God was just downloading things in my spirit. Like, and it's hard to explain because it happens.
Right.
It
Come in.
happens.
I just want to chime in here for a second,
please.
Because there's definitely people that have killed their children and their lovers because God told them to.
Whoa. Whatever who told them that is definitely not God.
Well, yeah, but
there's spirits out there other than God.
But
there's lots of other
spirits
biblically?
out there.
I'm saying that they said that God told them to do this. So I
hear you.
But how can you say that God is telling you things and not telling other people things? For better or for worse.
No, I hear you. So you went to an extreme example, which is appropriate. Yeah. It was very appropriate because, people abuse the name of God. So it all falls under really because obviously in this world we live in, we see the everyday people we meet and interact with or, see in the background, billions of people in the world. But guess what? In the spirit world, there's 10,000 times more individuals, individual minds, individual entities that are out there. So these people who killed their parents or killed their loved ones or babies, whatever, in the name of God, that was definitely not God, especially not the God of the Bible.
Well, there were wars fought in the name of God as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other story. I mean, I can get into the Catholic Crusades, but, I mean, that's...
Countless wars.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Trust me, all that was in the name of God, quote unquote. Camera catch me doing this because they abused the word of God. In fact, Rome fell because of Jesus, right? They fell. They split apart because of this Christian faith that was spreading like crazy.
I think it's almost impossible to say that it was the quote unquote name of God, though. It's impossible because who
truly knows God?
Who truly knows? Yeah, who truly knows?
So
maybe that is what God wants.
All right.
And they usually say like priests are the closest thing that knows, right? Like they're the closest ones who would.
Well, it depends, but then
ideology world
and
ideology world.
Because then it also depends on the priest, because there's priests that are in it for capitalistic reasons.
Absolutely,
and for raping, and for taking advantage of kids and things like that. Pedophilia.
But there is also priests that are in it for good. That are preaching the right stuff.
That's
good
apples and bad apples. It's such murky water that you can't really know.
One apple does not spoil the bunch.
You can know. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You can know if basically by just reading the word, being genuine about it, not trying to go in there with an alternative agenda, just reading, listening, just digesting it, and then you learn the character of God as you read, as you get to know God in the Old Testament, especially because that's where you get to know the Lord, Yahweh, Jehovah. You know, he has many names, and his real name isn't named. You know, he doesn't have a name, but Yahweh is the name that kind of stuck with him because that was the language at the time. So, you get to know him as you read.
So my only thing with that is that how can you defy interpretation? Because what you're interpreting from what you've read, does that equate to everyone else's thinking? Because I feel like there's a lot of different.
Let me throw this just to elaborate a little bit on your point too. Is I feel like there's a lot of things in modern society and in spiritual society, like hieroglyphics, and then even on the far other end of like mediums and stuff, people that claim to talk to spirits.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to interpretation. You put yourself in the position to connect with what they're saying. Right. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that comes down to religion a little bit as well, does it
definitely.
not?
So, exactly. It does. All that plays a part. Like I said, there's billions more times entities out there than there are here in this physical world that we see.
Well, if by entities you're saying dead people, there's many more dead people than there is alive people. That's for sure.
These entities aren't necessarily dead people. They're more fallen angels or demons. Demons are the spawn of fallen angels or watchers, as the Book of Enoch and Genesis 6 talk about. The watchers came down and mated with the daughters of men because they saw how beautiful they were. That caused giants to come into the world, and when those giants were destroyed by the flood, those spirits had to go somewhere. They technically weren't human spirits, and they weren't angelic spirits, so they were just hybrid spirits roaming the earth for the rest of the days, and those are known as the demons, essentially. And then, of course, you have your fallen people spirits, the people who've passed away. There's said Dante's Inferno. I don't know if you guys ever read that, but Dante's Inferno, written in the Renaissance era, he describes 7 layers of hell, and the first layer of hell is actually on this Earth's surface. It's just the other side, on the surface. So I believe there are people that were passed, but they passed away because they were innocently died outside of Christ.
We brought this up before in the previous pod with Trevor. Was the 7 layers of hell?
Oh yeah, we did.
And
we did have
Trevor
a thing.
Was like the 7. He's like,
then I made a funny about it. I was like, there was elevator.
Yeah, the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator. Yeah, the elevator. Yeah,
elevator. I mean, that's what it is. Like the worse you were in life, the further down you go, essentially. But it's all hell.
So.
Except the first layer. It's the closest thing to just...
The limbo.
That's
the limbo.
That's interesting that's been brought up a couple times now. You know what I mean? So it does mean that there is reflective information going on. Like
exactly.
It circulates, you know what I mean? So, that's good. That's good to see. That's getting that repetitiveness.
I didn't answer your guys' question about interpretation. I followed up on his key point.
We interrupted. We tend to do that.
Yeah.
We tend to do that.
But I say, that's part of it, though. Sorry, we apologize.
Yeah. No, there's nothing to apologize for, guys. This is a pod.
We're going to get to it. We're going to make sure we get to it.
Yeah, it all circles back. It all circles back.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all, guys. But I do want to answer your question about interpretation. That is important. Interpretation. So the way God showed me, and I know I keep using God because he is my teacher. Like, I'm trying to tell people this. Like, if we take the time to genuinely seek him, and his word says this, if we seek him, he will come to us. Because he's at this, stationary point, waiting to be sought, waiting to be feared and loved on, and by people, the people he created, that yet the majority of them don't even recognize him as God. Unfortunately, recognize other things as God and whatnot. So he's just waiting for those people, and essentially he had Israel at the first, and then now he sent his son through Israel so that we all could seek him, all the Gentiles and everybody else. But essentially for interpretation, so there's always one principle interpretation. There's always one principle or meaning, moral of the message or moral of the story, as you will. But there's also these little mini morals within. Like you can keep digging in, you find other morals like within, but there's always a main primary moral in every scripture. But with every scripture at the same time, there's many other principles you can take away. So, for example,
before you go, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead,
It's just because I think it's vital and important to know.
Yeah.
As I'm
Trying
listening
to understand,
you, as I'm trying to understand, I feel like that I don't know if we're on the same thing, but I think that's important for the viewers to know, just for us as a group, where we stand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think it's important to have a background of a little bit of that.
in there.
So
Okay.
so I mean, I don't know if we're on the same. You might have something else, but
No.
Okay,
I thought you were going a different direction.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it serves back to that or not. What you were thinking?
Eventually it will.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, just because like from me listening to you, I have like my own thoughts, and I thought he does too.
Definitely. Dude.
So that's why I think that we need to establish that before we go any further.
Of course, yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to cut you off, but
you're not.
what I say for Johnny right
Yeah.
here? What do you think? Where do you stand as far as this? Do you have any relation to this? Like, what's your background? Where do you come from?
Both my parents are religious. They went to religious schools. My mom is still very religious. My dad is, religious as well, but I don't believe in anything. I believe that this life is the only life that we have.
Nihilism.
Okay.
Now, yeah, this
Nihilism.
Yeah,
Right.
That's it. I believe in nothing. I believe in nothing.
There you go. And do you consider yourself an atheist?
He's a nihilist.
I guess.
That's a nothingist.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, that's atheism in a way. But
Atheist is it's turned into a derogatory term now. It's like
it's
people. There's negative connotation to the word atheist.
It's this or that.
So technically, an atheist is a non-theist, which means that they don't believe. But
Yeah.
people pursue then attack atheists as saying, "Oh, well, you're trying to like demean everybody else and say there's no God," and that's not really the case. Some atheists are like that. Some atheists are fucking horrible, but they're just asshole people.
Right.
There's asshole people in every aspect of humanity.
can I ask you this question? Are you agnostic or atheist? Because there's agnostics out there who the difference is agnostic means you don't know. You just don't know.
Well, I will tell you this, that every atheist is an agnostic, but not every agnostic is an atheist.
Okay. So what part are you?
I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
Okay.
There are certain extreme atheists that will try to prove to you that there's no God, and that's not a possibility.
Yeah.
So that's why every atheist is an agnostic, because they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They do not know. Nobody knows. Just like the religious people don't know.
Essentially, we're all agnostic.
That's why it's faith.
Everybody is an agnostic.
That's why it's faith.
And if you look at the world religions and all of the gods that are available to you to believe in,
Right.
you're just an agnostic or an atheist as I am, except you believe in one more God.
Right.
That's it.
That's true. That's true.
The Most High God.
I believe in one less God than you.
In your beliefs.
Yep.
In
No,
your beliefs.
there are other gods.
There's people that
I admit there are other gods. There are other gods
right.
because they've been made gods by
Yeah, but
people.
you said the highest God.
Yeah,
In
the
your
Most
beliefs.
High.
Still.
In your beliefs.
You're cherishing
In my
it. What about
beliefs.
the Greek
In your
gods?
beliefs.
The Greek
Right.
gods, they're gods. You got to recognize them. They're gods. They were worshipped by people, so they're gods, but they're
Right.
lower gods.
Right.
In fact, they should be lower than us. We were created to be right under God. We were created to rule this world, but yet we gave up that power and authority. So what do you believe in?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Circling back to me,
Mhm.
you finished, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I grew up in a native environment, Native American. I come from a lot of spiritualism. I come from a lot of like just natural stuff, and my beliefs are completely different from what is taught now in your aspect. Just because I almost have a more of a resentment to modern religion just because of what I know the history of my people.
Oh my gosh.
It was forced upon in
can't-
back time.
I hate how the name of Christ was used against natives, man.
Right.
Trust me, I yearn
yeah,
for
exactly.
the truth to get out because that wasn't Christ. That was Catholic driven.
Right,
That was all crusades.
And-
that was all not Christ. That's Antichrist,
Yeah.
if anything.
right.
All of it was.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the stuff that got brought down to me, and like from a spiritual native. What's crazy is that I grew up Christian as well, and I also grew up in a suburban
Destiny church, right?
Yeah, it's a suburban area.
Your parents still go to church. Your dad.
My
does.
dad still does.
Your dad does. for
My
sure.
not my mom usually.
Yeah.
And who is a native person,
Mhm.
but I don't think that's the reason why she doesn't go.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying that's why
yeah,
she
yeah,
doesn't go.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what comes back to it is just I have different. I grew up as a Christian as a kid. I went to church a lot. once I started getting a little more thought for my own, a little mind for my own, I went the other way. I went not forwards. I went backwards to where my roots were at, and I started talking to relatives and ancestors and stuff like that, and it wasn't a good thing. So it's just like, so what my people practice back on my reservation is completely opposite of what is talked about in written terms. I'm in a spiritual zone for me personally, and I follow that. I think now that I'm older, I still follow those beliefs just because it's very powerful to me. Spiritual wise, I feel it greatly. Like the way that you feel with God is the same. It's the passion. Exactly. It's the passion. It's the same way I feel about the Creator for me.
And that's
Creator. Of how I know Him.
Of
how I know Him.
But of whose Creator? Whose Creator?
Exactly. Exactly. Of
That's
how
the
I know.
point
Of
of
how
perspective.
I know Him. Right. Exactly.
But
perspective is everything.
That's what's interesting that you said that you used to go to church, and then when you grew up, then you kind of fell out of it. I was almost the exact opposite. Like, I was never forced to do anything. My parents were religious, and I grew up, knowing that they were, but they always led me to make up my mind for whatever.
In the beginning?
It was, yeah, even early on. And then eventually, when I started growing up, I had a lot of friends that were religious, and I would start going to church with them because they would ask me to. I'm like, yeah, I'll go to church with you. And I went, and I saw it, and that was early on. That was like early middle school. When I started getting friends that were religious, I would go to church with them and their families, and it was a good time. It was fun. I had a good time. I have nothing bad to say about the community.
What age were you at this one?
Probably, 12, 13. Maybe.
Okay, very young. Okay.
Very young.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once I started getting to,
high school.
freshman, high school days, then I was
That's
like,
what happens.
I'm like, I don't really understand what, I don't understand why I'm doing all this. Like,
yeah. I had that same kind of turning point myself too.
Yeah,
it's around high school.
It's like the same when you were going is probably when I was going out. But I kind of crossed paths that way.
But that's the thing is I was never made to go to church. I chose to go to church with my friends.
I know, but at least you tasted the water.
And
you know what I mean?
Then even when later on at Lake Natoma, I went to the Igors at Lake Natoma. I went to church with them and their family for probably a few weeks.
Yeah,
went there.
You told me that actually.
Every time they invited me, I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you guys.
Wow.
It was a Russian church, so I didn't.
Hey, shout out to the Russian churches.
Yeah, they're dope. But I didn't understand some of the stuff they were saying, but then they would switch it over to English every once in a while. I'm like, okay, I get you. But I'm part of the thing. I'm part of it. But
that's interesting.
It was just one of those things where I'm like, I'll participate because of the community aspect.
Right.
But I'm not really following the same stuff that you.
So
guys
it
do.
sounds like how much you have. Like it sounds like we have a little similarity here. Is that we're kind of open.
We're open
to what's happening.
Yeah.
Don't fully dive myself into it, but I'm open to hear what you're about.
Well, one of my favorite quotes is, "I like to keep my mind open, but not so open where my brains fall out."
That's a beautiful quote.
Yeah.
And who said that? You know? Edgar Allan Poe.
No,
I know he's an artist, you asshole.
No. Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, I think it was in the Raven. I think he quoted that in the
Raven. Right. Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe. Edgar Allan Crowe. That's what it was. That's who it was. Now that I'm remembering correctly, it was.
I got 2 follow-up questions for both of you guys.
Yeah.
First, because you went and I had this follow-up question, and he went, so I'm gonna ask you first. So when you say the Creator, and you mentioned the perspective. Mm-hmm. I've told you many times, I believe you are part of the lost tribes of Israel. You and your people that unfortunately were slaughtered for the name of God. And I quote unquote, and we already talked about that, but essentially I believe that the truth is Christopher Columbus, the man who brought it over all this towards your people.
Yep.
And this is found in his diaries. Like, I technically haven't dove in this far for myself to see it for myself, but the source who told me this, I trust because someone that's filled with the Spirit, he has the background for it. He's a lawyer. I mean, he got his law degree and everything, and then I trusted his word about it, and I did follow up on some of the things he was saying, and I found it to be true. So essentially, he was mentioning how Christopher Columbus wrote in his diary essentially how his whole reason for discovering America was to find the lost tribes of Israel, because he read it in the lost book of Esdras, a second book of Esdras. It's a book that prophesies about the crossing over the waters when essentially the prophecy of when people transported from Russia to Alaska.
I wish Christopher Columbus never existed.
Hey, there you
Whoa.
go. Whoa.
Sorry. I was making a wish I should open a new beer. Sorry, go ahead.
It worked. Yeah, so he read about that in the book of Ezra. It's like how God prophesied through Ezra, the prophet at the time, said, you and the people are going to cross over this land bridge, which was Russia and Alaska. It froze over at a time way back when. And then that's how the population or whoever was already on that.
Yeah, I've read something exactly what you're saying.
So
That, wait, what was your question?
So I was gonna say essentially your roots, the spiritualism, I believe, is just the roots from back in the days of the Bible, but so far past biblical times, which when we're talking Old Testament, we're talking 2000 BC.
Yeah, you're thinking about
2000 BC to 500 BC.
So theoretically, you're talking about when Pangea was a thing, right?
No, I'm talking. Well, so I'm talking past that. I'm talking past that.
It was
because you guys crossed.
Yeah.
No, because that's how I took like a couple anthropology classes and stuff when I was in college, and they had a theory about people crossing through these countries when it was connected.
Oh yeah, easily.
Somewhat connected.
And then when they
somewhat
broke up,
connected.
But
right?
Yes. The story of Moses was basically broken down to essentially that it was a low tide, and there was basically a channel. The only channel that they went through was the only channel that was high enough where he parted the Red Seas.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He did not part the Red Seas. They walked through,
But it was shallow.
It was very shallow, and they happened to be in the one stretch that was able to be walked through.
How come the Egyptians couldn't kill them then? The Egyptians died trying to do the same thing because the waters came back crashing down. It's written clearly in the book of Exodus.
I mean,
how it happened.
but it could have been a rogue wave. Could have been any number. It could be a number of things.
Everyone heard of Pharaoh
Tutankhamun? Tutankhamun, yeah.
He came to age as Pharaoh at the age of like 7 or 8 or 13 or something like that. That's because him and his family, or the Pharaoh at the time, died in that Red Sea, crashing, and in all his armies. Because Israel crossed, and he parted the Red Sea.
It was the only time that they could have done that.
But how come the Egyptians were chasing them though? That's what I'm saying. The Egyptians were chasing.
They weren't right behind them.
Yes, they were.
They were not right behind them.
Are you sure about that?
Well, like they could in eyesight.
So I mean,
in eyesight though.
So what you're saying is they were able to cross because the narrowness or the shallowness of the circumstance. So if this was circumstance, and I hear you. I'm just sitting logic right back at you. If this was circumstance, if you can cross, then technically sometime within the next few weeks you can cross too.
No.
I mean,
have you heard high and low tide?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That happens within hours.
All right.
We just watched that.
If we're talking about high and low tides,
we just watched that movie.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
He went out there. It was a low tide, and he couldn't leave because it was so high.
So
if you're in eyesight, then sure.
So all right, if it's high and low tide, so they were able to cross with them, because that's according to the book of Exodus. They're talking about how the Israelites made it across, and they were on hot pursuit. The Egyptians were on hot pursuit of them.
But hot pursuit back then.
I mean, no.
We're hot pursuit.
I know, I get it. Back then was like, probably like a day's journey or something. But they were able to get inside walking. Like it says they were in the midst of the Red Sea. The Egyptians.
But who's taking account of these actions, though?
This is, according to the Bible, like I said, everything I mentioned last time we did this pod, everything's hypothetical. So let's just say the Bible is this hypothetical book, which happens to line up with a lot of things in history. So, beyond that, of course, is what you believe. But essentially, hypothetically speaking, these Egyptians were right on their tail to the point where they were able to cross to and get to the middle point. And yet, once the last Israelite finally reached the other side of the bank, Red Sea, the tide came in. The tide came in right when they crossed. So I get that. You're right. That could be how it happened. Like, put your rod down, and then the tide is going to lower enough for you to cross. Yeah, it wasn't this big old wall of water like it's in Hollywood, right? That's Hollywood for you. But you're right. Now I'll bring a little science. It was the timing of it. Guess who's in control of that timing? God himself. God. Yeah, nobody. No man, of course.
No,
but God. Coincidence?
It could have been coincidence.
How right when the last Israelite crosses the Red Sea, the rest of the Egyptians that are crossing behind them, because this is the Red Sea. This is like, we're talking miles.
It's coincidence. Only one person can be coincidental. It can't be both groups.
So all of a sudden the tide comes in right when the last Israelite crosses over and then sweeps away the Egyptians, including the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh dies in that. Everyone
dies. The time frame is lost in translation.
It may be, but like I said, in hypothetical, like I said, you're trying to refute this. Like I get it. It's just you're trying to find.
You're trying to prove it though.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just trying to say, hypothetically speaking, it's according to this is how it happened. I mean, he's trying to reject it. So it's like, well, I mean, this is an atheist, this is Christian here. This is literally the battle.
The probability that it was a coincidence is much higher.
I mean, but when you see the factors of what led to the death of all those Egyptians and leading to King
Tutankhamun.
I can't say his name.
Tutankhamun.
That's how you know I had a lot. But I'm sober enough to speak the truth. Right. So essentially, yeah, King Tutankhamun came to power because, first of all, his older brother died because of the 7 plagues, the 7th plague that killed the firstborn of all of Egypt except the sons of Israel. So his older brother was going to be next in line, but he died during that plague. And then the Pharaoh kills himself, leading his army to chase Israel after he said, I'll let you go for the 5th, 6th time or something. And pursued him anyway, and then died in all his army. So King Tut, the youngest ever Pharaoh to ever come to power, was in power for about 9 years or so, and he died, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's how he came to power. Like this all lines up with history when you look at the timelines. But I get what you're saying. It was the tide. It was able to cross at the time. And you're right. Technically, yes, that's how it all happened in the physical. But God controls the tide is what I'm trying to say. I mean, yeah, the moon controls it, right? He set the moon in the sky to control the tides. And then, like I said, I'm coming from a hypothetical view.
Right.
And
let me ask you this. Do you believe in coincidence at all, or do you think that everything's tied to God?
I mean, that's a good question, actually, because I haven't really thought that part through. Coincidence is a very interesting statement. I would love to. Let me Google real quick the definition of coincidence.
Yeah, like, specific definition.
Yeah, because I love.
Because I feel like if you know the specific definition, then I feel like it's kind of pick and choose.
All right, I can see that. That's why I want to make sure. Yeah. Like I want to get my facts straight. Coincidence. I don't know how to spell coincidence.
I feel like religion in general could just be coincidence.
That's
whole thing's coincidence.
Essentially, yeah.
You guys are talking.
Because it very could be. It very well could be.
Did it work?
And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that too. I'm telling you, I'm the neutral. I'm Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying both sides, and you make a very valid point on that.
All right,
I can see that more than anything.
The act of condition of coinciding correspondence. Ooh, that's a very important word.
2 separate points of joining at one time.
Yeah,
I could say that. That's my own definition. You got to write that in Webster's dictionary.
Now here's the second. The occurrence of events that happen at the same time by accident but seem to have some connection.
I just made that up.
But seem.
You just said that.
But seem. That's the key word. This latter statement right here. Seem. But seem to have some connection. This is. All right. Yeah. I believe everything that is coincidence is God.
Yeah.
Is God. I do believe that just because of that last sentence. But seem to have a connection of some kind.
But you know
it's
that
a mystery.
But you know that the
supernatural.
You know that you know that the human brain is already. It's developed to put things together.
Yeah,
that's why we're good at puzzles. We're good at different things like that. And we want to connect things.
But what's wrong with connecting the missing piece, which a lot of people's lives, and especially my life for the longest time, was God. Like, why can't God be the missing piece?
Sometimes it ruins people's lives too, though.
I mean, unfortunately, people are evil, right? People will use, so you got this phone, right? This phone could be used for good or for evil.
Sure.
And like anything in the world, anything.
But it's just an object. Nothing is. It's all about who is doing it.
The name itself is also an object. The name, right? The name of God, used to kill millions of His people, and used to cause all sorts of wars.
So it has nothing to do with anything, though.
It has to do with everything.
If you get to choose, though, what you use it for, that's
the evil of the world, though. That people choose to use it for evil, or people choose to use it for good, and it's messed up. With anything, like a gun could be used to protect your household and whatnot, and never be touched unless somebody comes into your crib.
So why don't you just choose
but people
to not
can choose to murder
evil?
Everybody.
Why don't you just choose not to do evil regardless of the object that you're using? Whether it's religion or whether it's a phone or whether it's anything.
I wish people would, but people love power. Power is
Power is
that's the reason why
power
Rome
corrupts. Absolutely, that's what it is.
That's why Rome literally collapsed, and they said, "All right, we have to do something about this religion," and took it for themselves, burned everything else, and made the 66, known as the Bible. And it was written in Latin, and that was given to the masses, called the received text, because the masses had to receive it by force. And then next thing you know, the Protestant movement happens, because they realized that this is 1,200 years after the Catholic Church, 1,200 years, which means there's 1,200 years of straight up ruling through this name of God. Like I said, this name was abused. Like I keep saying, and I know people were murdered for it, but it was all for the wrong reasons. It was all for out of evil and not good. Never. And if you look at the pre, it's called the ante, it's a prefix, means before, ante-Nicene era. If you guys did your research on the ante-Nicea, you would truly see true Christianity. I know, I'm almost done. So if that'd be just Google that ante-Nicene period. Read about that. You can read about it in the Book of Acts. The Book of Acts is the ante-Nicene period of how Christianity just spread so naturally and organically, like you're describing.
Right.
Why can't people just choose to do good? That's what was happening. People were choosing to do good, and people were flocking to this new religion of doing good and doing love.
I want to bring back
so
to basics
amazing.
for a second.
Of course.
For someone who's trying to be in the same realm as you guys, obviously you guys did your studies here. So back to your guys' realm. When it comes to this book of God, which you seem to at least appreciate and acknowledge, and you kind of going off, not that you believe in it or anything like, but you at least acknowledge it as part in history.
I understand that it exists. And
Exactly,
that people wrote
and
it.
you're also putting
it.
And you're also putting it as an essential part in history. That means you're accepting it to be there.
Yes.
Right. So,
90 seconds.
and for you, person who believes everything that's coming out of this book, what? I just want to know at what rate or where it goes into like your 120% belief in this thing. Like why? Why
faith?
As literally just faith. Essentially just faith. Which is a take on a chance.
No,
I'm gonna take his statement of faith just a little bit further, and I'm gonna go on the side of if I was religious. If I was religious and God created a human, then there's no way that he would create us with free will just so we could follow blindly. There's no way. Why would he want us to follow blindly and not make up our own mind and figure our own self out?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to answer both of you guys. So I'm going to answer him first, and then I'm going to segue to the final ending. So essentially, yes, you're right. Why are we blind? Because we sinned at the first beginning. The first man, Adam and Eve, right? Adam was the first man, and Eve came out of him. So essentially, God was there. There was no blind faith. There was no faith necessary.
Or maybe there was nothing, though, too.
Like I said, we're from my perspective, the Bible is real, correct, right? And then to you, it's hypothetical, and I'm just asking you to just see it as a hypothetical thing.
All right.
That way, you can understand where I'm going with this. Essentially, in the beginning, God created the worlds and the heavens and the earth, right? You know that story, and then created man to rule it, and then in the end, then the culminating factor was he decided to sin against God because he disobeyed the one-line commandment. The first commandment, I should say, was essentially, do not eat this tree. Like, so imagine you had a job, right? You had this job and you had one condition, just don't do this one thing, but everything else is yours. Feel free to just do your work. I'm going to be here. Just, if you need me, I'm here. That's essentially what it was. Like, you got all this earth. You got all these animals. You got all these plants. You got all these trees. You got everything. Ocean, anything you need, but you need a helper. I get that. All right, here's Eve. All right, now you have Eve. You have your mate. Be fruitful, multiply, and just don't eat of the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. Just don't do that. And of course, the enemy, who was already watching all this, who was jealous and envious of man, tempted Eve to tempt Adam, and then they both ate. And the next thing you know, the expulsion of the garden happens, and then we're disconnected from God. Even though we're disconnected from God at that point, man still knew God existed because obviously they lived through that disconnection. So, but over time, we're talking thousands of years. I'm talking multi-millennia. According to biblical history, it's man first came on this earth 7,000 years ago. That's when Adam, stepped foot on the grounds and whatnot. So essentially, we're 7,000 years later. Here we are. We have to have blind faith because essentially 7,000 years ago, it wasn't blind faith. It was never blind faith. So God walked with man, but we disobeyed God, and that because of that act of disobedience, it kind of set off a chain reaction in the spirit world. So that's why we have to have what we have today, which is blind faith to most people. But to me, I see the evidence, to me and to millions of other Christians who believe. And I mean believe, like not just go to church, but millions of other Christians that are believing and seeking the truth even more on their spare time or even on their usual time, is they see the truth because it just makes sense. It's so cohesive. Everything is so coherent and cohesive if everyone just took the time to listen. And one last thing, the audio Bible has been the best thing I've ever discovered ever. And I discovered this literally a couple months ago or a month ago. I've been listening to books of the Bible at a time, just listening while I'm at work, just zoning out at work, my 8 hours, get my work in. And then I in my ears, I have the book of Genesis playing or something like that, or the book of Romans. Any letter, any book of the Bible, I have it just playing in my ear, and it's so pure. And then the version definitely matters, because I mentioned the received text, New King James, right? That's the most popular version, the received text. But there's other versions out there that just pick out what was truth that the saints wrote, not what the Vatican wrote. The Vatican wrote anything. The Vatican took what the saints wrote, added to it, and essentially, because they added to it so they could be more powerful, right? They did it for their own benefit, and then essentially said, here you go, here's your 66. That's how it all. That's why I said look up the ante-Nicene period, because all that was decided at the Nicene Council of 350 or 355, one of those dates, or 315. It's the 300th century. So essentially, that's where it all stemmed from. That's why we have blind faith, so to speak. But it's not blind faith. It seems blind faith to the outside in, but it's not to us, because, like I said, it's the clear and evident truth when you take the time to actually think about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I hear that. I hear it. All right. Now, going off of what you just said, gather it all in there, and you as well, both your points, gather it all in. I want to go back to the original question I asked you.
What was it?
Which was not the first thing I asked.
Like I said, I wanted to answer his and then go to him. But
okay.
What was it again? Sorry, I got it.
And it's all good. I'm spinning back to it.
Yeah.
It's and in brief terms, knowing what you know, and what I know, what do you guys believe is, or what happens after death for us?
Actually, I did answer this technically. I was like, people will choose to believe, and they'll be rewarded for that belief. And when I say believe, it just doesn't mean
What do you mean by rewarded?
So reward is the wrong word.
I need like a very just.
If I could condense it, I would say that I can assume that he's saying that to each person they create their own heaven, which is essentially what they believe will. If they believe in God, then their heaven in their own mind will be their heaven. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Not what I'm saying, but scientifically speaking, yes. Psychologically speaking, yes. Because that's what it is. So it starts from the inside, right? The mental. We talked about how powerful the mentality is in life. Like, everything that goes on in here affects the physical world. It's this facts. Facts. Noetic science. Look it up. Thoughts can affect the physical world. Noetic science. I'm reading about this right now in the book called The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown, which is a continuation of Da Vinci Code and Inferno. Or Inferno is a later book, but essentially Dan Brown novels are awesome. Da Vinci Code was the first one. Angels and Demons. That's one of the most famous ones. But yeah, essentially this is like the third book that was never made a movie. But anyway, thoughts have powerful effects. So yes, in a way, it starts from the psychological, because from the psychological you do in the physical, and because what you're doing in the physical, you reap this reward by God himself, because he created us in his image, right? So our words are powerful enough, but our thoughts are powerful too, because what we think and then we speak. Right? So all this affects our lives and then transitions to the next life. So yes, in a way, you're right, Johnny. But because people don't believe, they choose not to believe. And this is exactly what was quoted in a rap song I like. Those people who choose not to believe, essentially, if they choose to live a life apart from God, then they will spend eternity that way, apart from God. And unfortunately, it's not nothing according to sources like the Dante's Inferno and the Bible itself, of course, is saying like you're going to be burning in hell in eternity because you chose not to believe when it's a free message.
So you're saying that heaven's around the corner when you die.
Exactly, and we're all not too far from it.
You're saying about the gift that you said that this is the reward. The reward is in your words. You're saying that's what you're saying.
Heaven is the reward.
That is the reward.
So I mean, you don't do it for that, but it is that because of what we were told by the Christ. Jesus the Christ. He literally simply told us that.
And what do you? Sorry, I just want to pick your brain a little more.
Please do.
So when you're saying the reward, you're saying we all agree with heaven, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So and what do you imagine this heaven being like?
Well, according to Scripture, like it's all my proof, right? Because essentially, heaven to me is exactly what the Scripture says. It's paradise. Paradisal is the Greek word.
How do you imagine that?
How do you imagine paradise?
I want to know. You're the one who's telling me. Tell me.
I mean, I think we all
I see
imagine
a lot of
paradise
them.
the same way. It's just beautiful.
I have multiple.
It's gold, silver
mul-
streets, or golden streets.
That's not how I imagine mine.
All right,
I have multiverses of paradise in my mind.
multiverses.
Yeah, I have
That's good. That's good.
Multiverse theory. I see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. Paradise comes in a lot of different.
And I don't definitely. He mentioned multiverse theories, like, because we mentioned like, what was that quote you said earlier that we said it's anonymous? That is the quote that's in my mind and all the time, because I'm like, I want to expand my mind. I don't want to be a closed box Christian that's only focused on the 66, which was not written by Rome, but it was compiled by Rome, and they burned the rest. What does that tell you? Like,
and I feel like you are pretty open minded.
I'm very open minded because God wants us to gain knowledge in all things. And dude, Solomon,
preferences though.
Solomon, the wisest man in the world. Everyone
we all
else,
do.
and we all have preferences. You're right. We all have preferences.
Right.
Hey, you guys are moving.
Yeah, we're moving. We're moving.
Yeah, they're already on the left. Wow.
Yeah,
but anyway,
stay foggy.
Stay foggy.
At least this has less than 1% juice though,
Yeah.
and they claim it.
Wait,
so,
we looked at the calorie counts and all that.
5%. By the way, people who are listening on the
100
podcast
calories.
not really looking at it. We're drinking Trulies right now. Black cherry lemonade.
Let me
5%.
ask you this.
Let's go.
Let me jump way off topic and say, why do you think that this became a thing that they had to put less than 1% juice? Was there someone that complained? Like, how much fucking... You're saying there's juice in this?
Juice comes with sugar. That's why.
You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, well, it's less than 1% juice. Well, I'm not trying to fucking twist your
I would
nipples
say
here.
probably what he said.
Less than 1% juice.
I feel like people automatically associate juice with sugar.
Artificial
You
sugar.
think so?
Artificial
Natural
sweeteners.
juice, though?
Not natural
Just say
juice.
Not natural.
Yeah.
No, but it
Not
just
natural.
in general, it just says less than 1% juice.
Yeah, because I feel like juice is very heavily associated with sugar.
Because they're saying it's concentrate. Because what makes the black cherry lemonade? First of all, this is seltzer water. Seltzer water is just water.
I mean, you gotta think about
carbonation.
Look at the flavor. It says black cherry lemonade.
Exactly. So they're letting you know.
You gotta let me know.
Yeah, they're letting you know that it's not
idea.
juice concentrate. It's pure concentrate.
There ain't no juice in here, bro.
No, it's just a
There's
little
no
squirt of
juice.
lime or
No
whatever.
juice.
Or lemonade, black cherry.
I would, dude. If I ever came up with one, I would just on my can. I would just put essentially no juice.
I would
I
just
feel
say
like I would buy it just.
I would just say
essentially no juice.
I would just say there might be.
Yeah. a smidge of juice.
Yeah, a smidge, 1%.
A spit of juice.
Yeah.
You can't say spit on a can.
I'm gonna say,
Never ever did that.
say, who knows 1% juice?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I was gonna say give or take some juice.
Yeah, here or there.
Plus or
Here
minus.
Here or there.
Plus
Here
or
there.
minus.
Yeah, here or there. Here or there.
Don't remind me of plus or minus, bro. You just brought me nightmares of engineering days, bro.
Well, yeah, I know, huh?
But I love my major. But yeah. So,
Hey, why you gotta fucking brush it over all crazy? It seems like maybe you don't love your major.
Yeah.
I know.
A little bit.
No, to be honest, I told you this, Johnny. The reason
Yeah.
why I became a mechanical engineer or wanted to pursue that degree was because I love cars. Cars were the reason why I
Yeah.
chose. That was the closest thing I could choose in college. Like, you can't just say I want to be an auto mechanic in college.
True.
Like, that's what I really wanted to be, is to build cars and fix cars and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe I'll design cars. So I used to choose mechanical engineering, and it took me 6 years to freaking finish that degree. But
As a
finished it.
person who went through the whole college course, like spectrum thing, do you feel like it kind of resembled your personality a little bit, though?
Yeah. Because I am a man of science. I'm mathematics
I feel the
and
same
science
about me
and
with
things
economics.
like that. Yeah.
When I look at it,
STEM.
like when I look at like what I do and stuff like that, and the way my mind works, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why I picked that.
Yeah, you
Because
chose
I try
money.
to think I don't,
Yeah.
but then I look at
There's
myself.
a reason.
Well,
I try,
see,
I try to like.
nothing
look
but
at myself.
you're like that.
Nothing's a coincidence.
You're like that with a lot of things, though.
What do you mean?
Where you're like, no, I don't do that. I'm like, dude, you're exactly like that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think you're just in a constant state of denial. I think
I
that's
live in a
what
world
it-
of denial. Are you guys even real?
Nah, dude, I'm not even your friend,
No,
bro.
I think you are. So it's denial.
I met you one time 5 years ago, and this is all
Yeah.
a dream. You've been living in a simulation this whole time, dude.
All I think was this imaginary person of the first time I met John at the
Yeah.
bar, or just do bartending one
Yeah,
time. And
bartending,
I
yeah.
just had a fast forward memory
Yeah.
of us. And
Yeah.
it's all
You're gonna wake up here in your bed in 45 minutes.
simulation,
Yeah.
man. It's all
Still
it's
being
all
humble.
simulation. It's all simulation.
Dude, hey, let me ask you this though: red pill or blue pill?
Blue all day.
What is the one?
What?
So blue.
Yeah, I forget which one. it
Red
was.
is the one. Red is the one that reveals the truth to you, right?
Yeah, I'll take the red.
I think the red reveals the truth. I take the red all day.
I'm
Keep
taking-
revealing the truth to me.
I'm taking both.
I don't want to live in
I used to-
Narnia.
yeah.
I don't want to live in this fake Narnia,
I'm
whatever
taking
this is. Joe Biden's president. I'm not gonna get political.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa! Hey, you heard it here first. Donald Trump is the true president. Just saying.
Whoa!
You heard it here first, boys. When it breaks the news, when this stuff happens.
Hold on.
But anyway, we'll move on.
Now,
We'll
for
move
the
on.
mic-
I am not going to elaborate on
the
that. I'm
mics are
just saying that
peaking
It's all
on
good.
that.
it's on the record that it
mics
happened
are
on
definitely
The
picking
mics
on
are
that.
February
Definitely
20th.
on that.
What day is it? February 13th.
One of the days.
12th. Almost the 13th.
For
Wow,
fuck's
13th.
sake, can I just wrap up
You know
my
what?
goddamn question here?
Yeah, please wrap it up. Yeah, we definitely got off
Do I
topic.
have to do
for sure.
that?
Oh,
I feel like you
no!
crazy.
Wait, we were mid.
Hold it,
we were mid conversation.
Hold your hand. Hold your hand.
We're
Finish
mid.
All
your
right, so
point.
Yeah, finish.
yeah, I don't know if we noticed this, but we're doing questions of a bag right now. People who are listening to this podcast.
They call them the sag of what's and ifs.
What about the CC?
I like the sack of what's and ifs. I like it better.
The sack of what's in
The
it.
sack.
What about Sasquatch?
The sack of what's and ifs.
All right, yeah. So there's a sack of Crown Royal here, and there's a bunch of questions coming out, and John just picked one up. He's not gonna say it until we finish
Wrap
this
point up.
fucking thing up.
Wrap it
You
up.
said your shit.
I really
Go
want
your
to drink,
shit.
but
Go.
Mars is babysitting his
Please
career.
I'll
drink.
drink. I'll
Why you
drink
guys
with
aren't drinking?
I'll drink.
Because
I got my
drink with
Trulies. Don't wait for me. I'm sipping. I'm sipping. I'm trying to stay sober so I can be elaborate and whatnot. you
we're
know?
being elaborate.
You think I'm not?
No, I'm saying I know me. I know myself. I can get out of hand.
All right.
You know, I'm just trying to stay in self-control. But
All right.
yeah, definitely wrap up that point you got going. So, do you
John,
remember?
in the smallest form you can. I know we got off topic here. Going back to it, John, in the smallest form you can. What do you think about life after death? What do you believe?
We rot in the ground.
And that's it. There's nothing. Like I said, yeah,
That's
he
it.
said
What
now.
about what's the Buddhism? Where you or not?
Reincarnation?
Reincarnation.
Nah, that's technically not Buddhist.
Well,
Yeah,
if
well,
you're speaking,
sorry, I
you're
was-
speaking,
Hinduism.
you're speaking
technically.
about
Yeah, that's what I was
Taoism, which for him to say
Taoism
like
doesn't believe
energy. If you're speaking in the terms of energy, I mean, I'm gonna get burned up, so my energy isn't really gonna be like emitted in the best.
You don't
ways,
you
but
don't believe in like energy after that though? You just
I-
believe physically
I
just rot in the
do.
ground?
I do in a sense. I believe that if you die, then your body rots in the ground, and then you feed the plants that essentially grow after that, and like
and which gives
so
that energy.
in turn, yeah, in
Oh,
turn
okay.
again. So it's like a circle of life, but it's all
literally-
earthly.
It's
It has
literally more.
nothing to-
Yeah, it's a little more physical. Than
yeah,
anything.
it's all physical. It has
Okay.
nothing. It has nothing to do with your soul or your your
Right,
mind or
right,
anything.
right.
Like that.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Jordan?
Yeah, for me, a lot of my beliefs that it depends on where your spectrum of where your soul's at. There's a lot of people who are unrested, who linger, and people who go up like with the creator of different places. There's a saying that a heaven is right above our knees. That's what they say.
I've heard that.
Yeah, there's like
Is that a spiritual saying? Or is
think
that
it might. I
'Cause
mean,
I know I've heard that, but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember who was telling me this actually.
might have been me.
So right above your knees? What?
Well, they say
Yeah.
that heaven is like a foot and a half off the earth,
Yeah.
Earth's level or something.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like I said, you guys are, I believe, you guys are a mix of the Hebrews that mixed with the indigenous that were here. Because like
Yeah.
we were talking about, so we were actually on this topic, but we went into Moses and the Red Sea and all that. But I was actually talking about the land bridge of Russia to
Yeah, you're talking about where we stem from.
exactly.
What you're saying.
People
yeah.
crossed over,
Yeah,
and
right,
then
right.
because the lost tribes of Israel, they're
Right.
called the lost tribes for a reason because Rome kicked them out in 72 A.D.
Yeah.
Where'd they go after that?
Yeah.
So the southern tribe went south.
So essentially,
Judah, the blacks,
essentially what you're
Hebrews.
saying is that we're all part of the Hebrews, right?
Yeah, so essentially anyone who is of Mexican, Latino, South American, Native descent are a mix of the 11 tribes plus all the black Americans that aren't African. They say we're just African American because we were sold from West Africa, but guess what?
Technically, we're all Africans.
Yeah, technically we all are. We all come from,
Yeah.
Adam and Eve, and then from there, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, who pretty much settled in Turkey, actually, which at the time was part of Africa.
Yeah.
At the time, Turkey eventually split off, and the whole, Pangea split. But anyway, so we are the Black Judah, tribe of Judah, Southern Kingdom Judah, the capital Jerusalem is essentially. We all went south. the rest went north and then kind of like east, essentially. Migrated to Asia, to Russia, and then eventually across the land bridge and into the Americas. While we went south and into Africa towards the west.
Are you
migrated.
essentially saying that you and I were brothers and
we're all
sisters,
part
right?
of the
Yeah.
12 tribes
Right.
of Israel, and we all met back in America.
Right.
I believe that was all God, orchestrated by God to meet here in this lost land,
Right.
land that was ignored because it was disconnected from the rest of the world.
Sacred as shit from my people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Sacred
Like
as
y'all came in.
You guys don't even want to hear the creation story that I know about from Native Americans.
That's the next
Was
pod.
it the turtle that came out of the ocean?
Yeah, I think I've showed
Turtle
him
come
before.
out of the ocean.
No, I know. I think maybe you have told me this before,
I have.
but
I
I know.
definitely-
I
we've
know
talked
this
about it.
story, Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of different stories that come from a lot of Native people.
Yeah.
But I think the one that you're talking about, I feel like I've told you that one. Just
Maybe,
because how
yeah.
you know so much detail about
Right.
it.
Turtle
Yeah,
out
the
of the ocean.
Sky Woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you that one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I wonder if that Sky
I won't
Woman's
dispute it.
wisdom.
I won't dispute it.
I wonder if Sky Wisdom is.
A
Anyway,
lot of symbolism that's going on. But
we'll
yeah.
get there. It's a lot of symbolism. Exactly.
Oh,
like,
we already got
And
here.
religion too.
We already got here.
we'll get
We
to
already-
no, in
no,
fact,
we got
we're-
here.
We didn't dip our toes in. We
Pod-
just fucking
we
went
got
balls
here.
deep.
Pod
That's what we
part
did.
2 will be your guys' perspective on life and where we all started from. How about that? Pod
That's
part 2. When I'm
Exactly.
back on.
We don't have to wrap everything up today because
No.
obviously
Oh, yeah.
we're not going to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
way.
We're
This
still
time-
going to
Hey,
continue to be
exhaustive.
friends.
Of
and
course,
we're still
of
gonna
course.
talk.
And,
so
and then
love is
hey,
everything.
we're going one question at a time here.
Yeah.
I asked what you had at
Yep.
the end of it all.
Yeah.
You had at the end of all. Me had at the end of all. And then after that, John's going to read a question.
So let's read it. Yeah, what is it? I think we wrapped it up. I'm pretty sure we wrapped it up.
what's the shortest amount of time you've known somebody before hooking up? I feel like we all probably almost have the same answer.
Dang. You guys would make me answer this on national, international TV.
Wow, you're very rare to think we're international.
Interview.
It's gonna be eventually.
Eventually.
I believe in the show.
Hey, they're gonna have to dig back deep in the archives for this one.
Way
Hey, episode 17
Hey,
or 18.
To the people who are listening to this in 2025, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Yeah. They don't even know what that reference is.
No,
You know what I
that
mean?
movie's already gone, long
Yeah.
gone.
Hey, Lily.
I mean, do I have to answer that?
Please answer that.
I mean, I would answer that because I would say it's less than an hour.
That you've hooked up with someone less than me?
Less than an hour? Wow.
Yeah.
I'd say
Wow.
I'll give 3 tops.
Days.
Yeah.
Hours.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years
is my
wow.
minimum.
No,
That's
3
my
hours.
Good
minimum.
luck.
3 hours.
3
3 hours
hours.
for me.
Yeah.
So I have done those hookups before, and trust me, I'm not proud of it, and I'll always not be proud of it. But yes, that is my history. That's part of how I am today. Because
it's
today I am not about that anymore. Like when we go to
Listen,
bars every weekend
listen.
downtown, I'm like, I'm not here to hook up. I'm here to just meet people.
I hate when
Go from
people
there.
are so like, but don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. It's like, dude, like you're not the same person you would have been if you didn't do those things. I feel like personally, it's like you had to go
You
through
grow
that
from
stuff.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Grow.
got to go
Wow,
over those speed
experience.
bumps to test your suspension.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Wow, I gotta knock you for that one, bro. As a car man, I gotta respect that.
I
bro.
just
was
made that
good.
shit up on the spot.
That was
I've
good.
never said that before in my life.
That was really good. I gotta quote that. I gotta tweet that, bro. I'm gonna tweet that. I'm
Yeah.
literally tweeting that. Jordan will retweet it, and then I'll have Foggy Thoughts podcast retweet that.
We're at this point now.
We winding down. We
winding
winding down.
down.
Winding
What is
down.
So all right, so I'm gonna go. I don't want. Don't
even think about
Yeah, the first thing that comes to your mind here, and I do because these are
Run
part
with
of my questions. I did want to ask you guys
All
is, do you believe that there is another form of life out there in the universe? Yes or no?
Well, you should know that by now. After I
Just what do you think?
yes.
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking terrestrial or
extraterrestrial. Sorry,
Extra,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
all right. So
extraterrestrial.
yeah, I mean, the same spirits that are here
Those same spirits.
as are spirits, but they're also physical beings.
Do you
That
think they're out there physically in the
So,
in the outside world?
they're the
Yes or
spirits,
no?
right? I described the demons and I described the spirits of past humans that are on the surface of the earth, but there are the fallen angels or the angels of Lucifer.
So you think
that, yes,
people-
those are the aliens that people call
Okay,
aliens. Yes,
okay,
I do
okay,
believe in
okay.
they're called
Okay.
celestials for
Yeah.
a reason. Not we're terrestrials.
Yeah.
Earth,
Right.
celestial skies
Yeah.
are the aliens or the angels.
So
the
essentially, you
angels.
believe we're not here alone,
No, we're definitely not.
John?
Yeah. I mean, it's unlikely that we are alone for sure.
Just based off of what? Do you know there's more stars and planets than there are grains of sand all throughout this earth, which is
Yeah.
fucking insane.
There's more galaxies than that even,
Exactly.
which is impossible. Yeah, it's
There's
so
gotta be, right?
Either you'd have to be very naive to say that we are the one of a kind only species.
Just based off of statistically speaking, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Innumerable is what the word of God says. There's innumerable amount of angels or stars or celestials.
We're gonna end these on the last couple questions. Let's go. Go ahead, John.
This is an interesting one. What is one thing that you dislike about yourself? We're getting all introspective here.
Whoa.
One thing you dislike about yourself.
My past.
Wow.
But I forgive myself.
The whole past, though? Or
Not
your
the whole
recent
past.
past?
Not the whole past. Just parts. We all have bad parts.
But see, can you even really say that? Because we all have parts of our past that we dislike. So is that one thing that you... Because have you learned from it? I feel like you learned a lot from it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So can you say that you dislike it? Because you
I dislike what the mistakes I made,
mm-hmm.
and I wish I'd done them better, which would mean I didn't have to learn anything because I already knew. Because I always knew the answers.
Okay.
I just chose to do the wrong thing consciously, subconsciously, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If, you know what I mean? Like consciously, subconsciously. Like,
yeah.
My flesh wanted to have sex with her tonight, right now, right here, but I did it. You know, and I know it's against my moral law, but I did it anyway, and I regret those moments all the time. But I know I'm forgiven, and I forgive myself for those things. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. So, sorry.
The question was,
what do you dislike about yourself?
Dislike.
One thing you dislike about yourself.
I don't like my realism, as in, like, I wish I were less negative.
There's two sides of the truth, right? There's the side that I've been talking about all night, the bright side of the truth, but then there's the dark side. People will consider that pessimism, but it's not. It's just the truth. There are evil people in the world who have power to do anything they want, and we voted them in there. Just saying.
Yeah. I hear it. What about for you?
What?
One thing you hate about yourself?
Yeah,
well,
I don't think you
mean dislike?
Dislike. Yeah, hate it. Yeah.
I don't think I hate anything about myself.
Change the vocabulary.
Hey, we're getting core source here.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
This is the.
All right.
I love it.
Name all the things you hate about yourself.
Yeah, change the vocabulary back on him.
No.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate that. No, just kidding.
Dislike.
One thing I dislike.
Dislike's a good word.
I think that I dislike that I'm gullible. I'm easily manipulated for the right person.
What does that mean? Who's the right person?
I think
the right.
Yeah.
Like female?
It sounds like you're specific aspects.
It could be a friendship or it could be a female.
Yeah, but it sounds like a thing that you experience with somebody. It's not about like factual stuff.
I will never not give what I have. Even if I can't afford it, even if I don't want to give it.
I wouldn't classify
no matter
as
what it
gullible.
is. Well, however you say that, then that's one thing I don't like. I'll never, if somebody asks for something, I'm always gonna just give it to them. Whatever that means, whatever that is.
Yeah, I know there's a word for that.
How would you describe that?
Can I have $1,000?
Yeah. If you,
I really need it. I don't need it.
I could.
The fucked up thing is that he would do it.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
I'll find a way.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
But no, don't. Yeah. That's where wisdom comes
And
in.
I don't know why you hate it about yourself.
No, I don't hate
Sorry,
it.
good to be
I'm
charitable.
sorry, I don't want to say. I'm just
Charitable.
like about yourself.
Love is a good thing.
Well, yeah, but it makes me stagnant.
Does it? Does it though?
So should
course you're
I
spiritual.
not? Does it? Because at some point you have to cross-reference your ability to give towards your self-worth and the progression of your own life.
True.
So it's like, at what point does
Why?
one outweigh the other?
There comes a point where you genuinely believe that someone deserves it more than you do,
Well, I believe that everybody deserves it more than me.
even if they're an asshole.
Yeah. It's not my fault
You
they're
have
an
no
asshole.
you have no filtering
It's
about
not
it.
my fault they're an asshole. I didn't make them an asshole.
Whoa.
You're
Someone
no
else
filter.
did.
Yeah,
have
you
no
still
filter.
give to the
Yeah.
asshole. Sorry, the trulies.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. The truly. Wait. So
They probably had trauma in their fucking childhood. And
I get it.
they
I get it.
had
I
a
see where
worse
you're coming
goddamn situation than I did.
from. Yeah.
I had a great childhood. I was great. I was perfectly fine.
For a guy who has a lot of like, fuck this attitude, you have a lot of positivity in people.
I don't
Love.
think so.
That's called
You're,
love. You exemplify God. I always tell Johnny this. For someone who's an atheist, you exemplify God more than any Christian, or not more. I shouldn't say that. More than a lot of Christians, I should say. And that's the true faith right there. Action. I was just telling this to my sister earlier today. I was like, faith is essentially it works. It's not words. Words could be said by me, by anybody, but if I'm not doing what I say, then I'm not in faith. My faith is dead. James talks about the book of James, the letter of James. So essentially, like I said, your actions is funny because James actually talks about this little hypothetical debate inside his scriptures. Like, I say I have faith and you have works. Can we combine our faith and works and be saved?
Potentially,
yeah. And then, but the true faith comes from the works because without works, my faith is dead. And then for you to have no faith but have faith, it's weird. Yeah. You're in a weird situation because you are one of the most loving men I've ever met in my life.
Well, I appreciate that.
And Jordan, you are too. Mm-hmm. But Johnny just exemplifies it in such a way. I have no idea. But anyway, we'll move on. But yeah, good points, guys. Good points. All right, who we want? All right, I think this guy wants to be drawn out.
Almost there.
All right, this is a very interesting question.
No, I'm right here. Give me this much time. This much time.
Oh, I love this one.
All right,
okay. Here we go.
What is the first thing you guys do when you wake up in the morning?
Coffee. Actually, that's a lie.
So then I woke up.
Kobe. Rest in peace.
I opened my eyes.
I know the first thing, but it's like it's already almost second nature to me, so it's almost irrelevant.
Should I just be completely honest?
You said open
I go
your
back
eyes.
to sleep.
It's like,
how long though?
it's morning. Fuck
I have so
10 alarms. I heard.
Yeah,
this.
I essentially believe that there's two different kind of people in the world when it comes to waking up.
Yeah.
There's people who have like 10 alarms, people that have just one alarm,
Yeah.
2 alarms or whatever. I'm the person that has 10 alarms, so
I know.
I
you
have
are.
time frames.
When I'm up, I'm up.
Yeah, me not the same way.
So what do you do? So you make coffee.
I go back to
sleep.
sleep.
You make coffee,
but
so we're gonna ask you the same after you not go back.
We already know. I go
do.
to sleep.
I turn the coffee maker on, but the first thing that I actually do is I feed my wolves. I feed the animals. I got my routine. I got a turtle. I got my cat. I got my wolves. I make my rounds and I give them all food. But the first thing that I actually do is I turn my fucking coffee maker on, because then after I'm done feeding them all, then my coffee's ready.
So you're a daily coffee drinker. Wow.
Every day.
That's dangerous. Be careful with that, man.
He's also
Just drink water
Wait.
twice as many cups as you drink coffee.
I
at
think
least,
I'm pretty
minimum.
sure he's also
Please
a
do.
daily energy drinker too, right?
Every
Oh
day.
my gosh, dude, you
And
guys are
coffee,
killing your
yeah.
kidneys.
Don't
man.
say me.
Don't
say
I'm
me.
saying.
You
I'm
think
saying.
You think I haven't killed my kidneys enough?
True that. I mean, water is
my
essential, guys. Water is the true nourishment.
My blood is
Tea.
poison. My blood is poison.
Guess
you
what?
realize?
Guess what? You can make tea, which is essentially caffeinated water. Caffeinated water with benefits.
I love tea.
But anyway,
I love
what's
tea
yours?
more than coffee for sure.
What's yours?
I'm
You
a
don't just
coffee
wake
guy.
up and go back to sleep. What do you do after you don't go back to sleep?
Can I talk about?
Nope.
You got to answer the question.
No,
for real.
No, I gotta get more specific because if it's a work day, it's different than a weekend day.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So can I do my weekend day or my work day?
Well, it depends. What's the first thing I feel like your routine is different.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, because when I
Because
work
then
up
going back to
on a
sleep,
work day, I'm just getting ready and going to work. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have coffee time. I have breakfast time. I just go.
Shower and go.
Yeah,
After
that's
that.
it.
Yep.
That's
All
it.
right.
Well,
So
see,
weekend day.
you're even a different waking morning person work wise, because I wake
beer.
up early
I know.
just so I can have that fucking coffee
Right.
time.
Not me.
You're like right before I gotta go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then you're out.
Yep. 120%.
Okay.
On a weekend day.
Yeah.
Day.
It's your weekend.
Let's go past the Prem time, the Premier League stuff, because I'll watch usually trying to see what soccer games are on. I'll wake up. I'll go on my phone. I'm gonna go with what I'm doing like in the last 6 months.
All right.
I wake up. I go on my phone. I check my prices. That's the first thing I fucking
There's
do.
thousands of dollars in the
I
fucking
have a
cryptocurrency.
lot. I have a
Oh,
lot
excuse
of
my
money.
language.
I have a lot of money.
Screen time.
To be honest with you though,
You're corrupted, bro.
Oh my gosh.
You're corrupted by the system.
no, it's not. I have a possibility.
I hope
to
you get
getting
rich,
out.
man. I hope you get rich, but you're still correct.
All right,
You're
we'll
still,
see.
You're still grabbing that phone every day. You're part
I
of the
want to
corporate
see
system.
what he has to say in the next 6 months. We'll talk about this again in the next 6 months.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Next 6 months. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah, I'm very well invested into my time to look at that because I'm well invested into these things. Like a lot of money in
It's
there.
smart to get into cryptocurrency now before it's actually our currency.
I just really want all technology to crash and just watch everybody run like a chicken with their head cut off.
Hey, we're looking for you're in the wrong place, my friend.
No, that would happen though.
It could happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening anytime soon though.
That's my dream is just to see that and see all the people that are so like not prepared because they're so addicted to.
You know what's funny is that I have
Could happen though.
But that's why we do the backpacking thing too. I have double sides.
Yeah, we're just go to
I
nature.
got my
kind of do our own
ready
thing.
to go.
We're ready to
But
bug
also,
out.
I live
bug
on
out
both.
back.
Hey, I'm a dialect. I'm like right in the middle. I have both sides of the shit ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's for sure.
that's what I'm trying to be.
But yeah, that's the first thing I go and do, and then after that, I probably eat a croissant.
Croissant. This guy said that
homemade.
Croissant.
I have never seen you make a croissant. I've been hanging out with you on these weekends. Bro.
He always has croissants.
I was.
When? I've seen you grab a beer before a croissant.
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know when this croissant ever happens.
Is
on
he
the
with
weekend.
me? Is he with me? Because
Yeah, he's usually with us. He's
Yeah,
upstairs
'cause
in your bed.
I don't-
while you're on the couch with me.
The first thing I said though, when I'm with this guy, I don't eat. I don't eat.
You don't.
He
I
literally,
don't eat.
this dude went and went here. I got you a croissant. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like a croissant. He's
The
like,
fuck
yeah.
am I supposed to do this?
He's like,
Third time.
breakfast. I'm like, that doesn't count as breakfast. I went, got a beer out of his fridge.
But there's also another time where you come over there. I made a croissant sandwich
Which is
I saw that snap. You sent me that.
for him though.
Pretty fire,
It was
yeah.
for him.
Look good.
Yeah.
For both of us. You made one.
Yeah.
Turkey
I made it for
bacon.
both.
I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it was stuffed. It was stuffed and shit.
good.
So yeah, it was good shit. So I mean, I'll do it.
I do enjoy a good croissant.
I love a good croissant.
I usually don't bake them. But
You're
you're not fucking French beat.
Yeah, it's
Chocolat.
croissant.
It's croissant. You're not fucking French beat.
No, yeah, that's.
No, I hear it.
You know, that's me though. Yeah, essentially, if I'm with John, it's a beer in the morning.
Yeah.
If I'm by myself, it's Premier League and croissants.
There you go. Because I was gonna say, like, I've definitely never seen croissants. I've seen plenty of Premier League and beers.
We can end on that.
He's been with me with croissants though.
We can end on that note.
He can vouch for me though on that.
Yeah.
though.
Premier League and croissants, huh?
Premier League
Let's
croissants,
end on that shit.
All right.
For sure.
So what?
Wrapping it up.
Wait. What
Wrap it up.
do
All
I
right.
do? What do I do in the morning? I read the question.
Oh, what do you?
Sorry, yeah,
what do you do in the
Sorry.
morning?
Go ahead.
I was so involved in his croissants.
Yeah.
Hey, respect to you guys. I love your guys' morning routines.
Yeah.
You take care of your wolves. I mean, that's your animals. I mean, if you don't take care of them, they're gonna turn on your ass. That's just facts.
That's true shit. I gotta be out. I gotta stay the alpha.
Exactly. You gotta stay the alpha. You gotta
Look
stay
at
in
my
control.
eyes. Look at my eyes.
Feed their souls with their bodies, of course. I
Yep.
get that. And
for
then
you.
you make coffee for yourself. I love
Yep.
it. I love it.
And for you.
And then Jordan, I respect your, because I do that too. Waking up and go back to sleep. I do that way too much, and I'm trying to not do that. But what I'm trying to do is, which I am doing as of February 1st, in fact. Like I said, I actually mentioned earlier in the pod, like, I feel like I recently got saved. Like,
Oh yeah.
truly saved in terms of, like, because like I said, I was saved back at 7 years old, yeah. But did I really know anything at 7 years old? Heck no. I just did it because obviously it felt right. I was led by the Spirit. I really was. But then I went through adolescence, went through high school like you guys, and then, fell in love with the world in terms of popularity and things like that. I was one of them, good guy. I was popular, whatever, in high school, in a very white high school. So, I was the token kid, essentially. But I hung out with my niggas, I'll say that word because, hey, I don't believe niggas is offensive if we use it, in the right way, in love. Even white people can use it out of love, whatnot. But out of love only. But then anyway, so, fast forward to all my life in college, which led to more of, just sinning, I guess. But learning my lessons from all that. But then always coming back to the Lord at some point. And then after one of my biggest breakups that I experienced, I sought the Lord like never before. And as in, I would wake up in the morning and seek him after one of my biggest breakups at Sac State. And this was coming into my last year at Sac State. I broke up with her. It was a hard breakup because it came out of nowhere. And then, from there, I was depressed, almost committed suicide. But if it wasn't for God, if it wasn't for what I'd known, for what I grew up in, I would be dead. Or else, But what the other alternative was just seek the Lord and have him pull me up. And he did. He pulled me up because that's that seeking that I had at 7 years old. At 7 years old, I wasn't even seeking him. I just knew I needed to do this. Same thing happened at 23 or whatever, 24. This was a couple years ago. And then literally I do that every morning. I did that every morning. And then I got complacent when I ended up finding my wife, whom I got divorced to, unfortunately, recently, because I got complacent. Then that led to me. Now here I am recovering from that because suicidal thoughts came back. It's like, whoa, what happened? But, I mean, they weren't as hard as they were before. But because before I actually attempted suicide, I actually tried to hang myself. I never told anybody that. But I'll tell the world that because people need to hear this testimony because God is the reason why that I didn't hang myself that night or that week or 2 weeks later or whatever. But even this time around, after a divorce, which is a worse breakup than, losing your girlfriend, you lose your wife, I was just like, whoa. Like, for me, it took me off guard. I smoked hella weed and whatnot, and that was the reason why I got a divorce because, I was doing a lot of weed behind her back, but then again, it really wasn't behind her back because I told her and whatnot, and I can get into that, but I'm not. But anyway, like, it was something that I was working on. I was going to quit eventually. I just needed time because we got married at a time when I was not, I wasn't healthy in terms of my physical life. My spiritual life was there. My soul life was in the fence because obviously the soul is between the spirit and the physical almost always won. I never cheated on her or anything like that. I just smoked a lot of weed behind her back. Not like that, but it was kind of like that. It's hard to explain, but anyway. But it was more so once a week on Saturdays, not trying to justify it or anything, but when she was working, I would do that on my whole day, kind of just relax and do the chores that I needed to do and hold it down. But in the end, I'd try to be sober by the time she gets home. And when I fast forward to after the divorce, I was ready to kill myself, but I didn't attempt at all because I knew the truth too much at that time. And I was ready to get back at it after about a month of just sulking in grief. But so after that month, I ended up, seeking the Lord again in terms of, that's what I need to do. I need to build myself back up. And then as of February 1st, I actually started seeking him in the morning on purpose. So, there was a lot of time of just ready to kind of, essentially just before February, it was all just really just seeking him on my spare time. But I get those ready. But after February, so before February, in fact, when I did shrooms, I'll say this on the pod. When I did shrooms in Tahoe with my boy Adrian, shout out to Adrian, that told me everything, bro. That's all I needed to know. I was just like, all right, that changed my life right there. Because a week later, on February 1st, I started, seeking God even more so because it took me some time to adapt and whatnot. But because like I said, I heard the truth and I knew the truth, and I'm ready. I was ready to. I hear you. I see you. I just started seeking the Lord literally on purpose, waking up, seeking him first. Matthew 6:33 is so true because when you seek the kingdom of God first, all these things will be added to you, meaning everything in life that you ever need will be added to you automatically.
I think you have a very, very much longer morning than we do.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't even the question. But
yeah, no, you said what I do when I first wake up. I essentially,
you go through all of that.
Well, I had to throw that in there. It's my testimony, so I had to throw that in there. So now, to answer your question,
your shit's not even done. Do I see a problem right now?
Whoa!
I'll happily pour that for us.
Pour up.
I thought we were gonna do whist this time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be this Jack Daniel's honey.
Jack
Daniel's honey.
Yeah,
we
okay,
do
okay,
everybody's
every time.
Every time, Jack Daniel's honey.
Okay,
That's Jordan's drink. But just to quickly wrap up,
man, that's a long morning.
I'm sorry that was a long answer, but
it's all right.
I just wanted to wrap up to answer the question specifically. I do seek the Lord daily now, purposely after I wake up. As soon as I wake up. In fact, the circle of life, Disney, Lion King. The circle of life is my alarm, because that alarm speaks.
Is it really?
Dude, it is. You'll hear it in the morning, because it plays every morning. No matter, you'll hear it in the morning, and I'll be like, this song is the truth. Mm-hmm. It talks about there's so much to ding, there's so much to do that could ever be done. There's so much to find that could ever be found. If you guys read the lyrics of the Circle of Life, it's so true. So that's my ringtone. I get up, and I thank God, and I seek him, and God has showed me so much. So that's what I do, and and I do it in prayer, I do it in worship. There's many variety of ways of seeking Him.
I guarantee that there's many people like you.
Oh yeah,
there in the world,
definitely.
And there is probably many people that needed to hear exactly what you had
exactly.
to say. Right.
That's why I had to say it like that.
120%.
Hey, never give up, guys.
Never.
And I think we're gonna sign off here, right?
Well, yeah. Let's sign off.
So this should be the last turning point, and appreciate that and everything. Once again, just want to wrap everything up. We love having you on here, man.
Absolutely.
It was
a great time.
This is
it really was a great time.
And
thank you so much.
Honestly,
every minute. Every minute.
Do you guys smell that?
I don't smell nothing.
I smell a part 2 coming in the future.
Oh,
In the future.
Actually,
In the
wait.
future.
You Oh yeah.
near-
Oh, there's part 2. Wait.
Yeah.
You see it
The near future.
on the
of Mars.
backside?
Oh shit! I think I might see it
Way
myself.
back. Yeah,
The
yeah,
near
see back
future.
there? Okay, there we go.
Like
Okay,
next
okay.
week's episode? Or,
Yeah,
no, I'm
we
just
never
kidding,
know.
yeah.
I think I see
Hey,
it
a
back
couple
there.
break, couple weekend breaks.
I think I see
Yeah,
it back
I think
there,
it's a perfect perfect amount of time, perfect amount of opportunity. Everything you said was very informational. I
Yeah.
appreciate your insight. It was very good.
And
I
nobody
loved
tried to
everything.
step on anybody's toes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I
Never.
didn't.
No one did.
It was
No one
perfect.
did
It
at
was
all.
Perfect. I think that we were very. I
It
think
was
we're
good
all
back and forth.
enlightened. And,
Mutual dynamic, I would
Yeah,
say.
I
Hey,
think that
as
we're all
iron
see
sharpens iron,
That's what
so
it
we
is.
sharpen one another.
Right.
There we go.
That's what
Right.
we were
Sharpen
doing.
our minds, huh?
We
Right.
sharpen our minds.
That's what it is.
Right. Do you want to have anything before we sign off?
I don't have anything. Just follow our social media, Instagram,
Yeah.
Foggy Thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, our
Yeah,
YouTube page.
YouTube page at Foggy Thoughts, Instagram page at Foggy Thoughts Podcast,
Yep.
Twitter.
and
Spot-
as
yeah.
for our guests, you want to plug anything for yourself? You got anything going on?
Yeah.
Real quick, Twitter at Foggy Thoughts as well.
There you
Me, I'm LMars909 on Instagram. I'm Mars909 on Twitter. And that's all the social media I got. I got
There you go.
Snapchat too, but screw that.
And keep tuning into our podcast for the next time he's on here,
Right,
because
right,
it's
right.
gonna be he will be on air again.
Yeah,
It's just it's a matter of
100%.
time.
It's only part 1, baby.
These are my
Part
best
one.
friends, so I mean,
There we go.
I'll be
Yeah.
back.
There you go.
Looking forward to it.
There it is. There it is.
Love you, brother.
Hell yeah.
Boys here for you, man.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. There's a reason why I saw you with the Real Madrid jersey. There's
Always
a
a
reason I was there for that.
See, this guy knows, man. There's never
There's a
a
reason.
coincidence.
Never a coincidence.
This
Grammar
is the
matters.
end of this podcast. It's kind of a weird ending, but this is what we're doing right now.
Thank you for
so
listening.
Thank you,
Till
everybody.
next time.
Hey,
Love.
All right.
Prost.
Love conquers all.
Tequila.
Love you guys.
Salud.
Tequila.
To love.
Tequila.
Amor.
Con
Hennessy. That's Jackson
That's a
whiskey.
wrap. That's a wrap. Let's go.
Whiskey. Yes.